People of Earth, how are you? My name is Al. Across the table from me is I used to say good friend, but my absolute best friend, Joe.
Hey now.
Today we are joined by the great big Dave C., my brother. How's it going?
A Nashville resident.
Very well, thank you for the invitation.
And our second biggest fan.
Who's our biggest?
I don't know, that part with the fucking number that starts with the 666.
You know who that is?
Who is that?
That is the fella who, as you looked at our band last night, was the guitar player to the left. Dave is him. The guitar player in my band is the one who is also listens as much as Dave.
And he's just a number? The fuck are you?
The fucking cup split. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're a fucking disaster.
I mean, the cup split. Would you buy fucking decent cups?
Oh, an asshole. Clean it up, Sticky.
Yeah, I will.
Well,
so anyway, that guy who was playing guitar.
So that's 666?
Yeah, that's Dave.
Well, he listens fucking to everything.
Him and my brother Dave.
Like, he must not have any time. But he doesn't come up as Dave.
No, he's listener, whatever. And you know what his job is?
What?
He is the head of maintenance at the middle school in a town not far from here.
Okay, so
he's got time to listen.
Oh, so he's like
podcasts.
walking around and
pops it in. Pops in his headphones while he's swinging the mop.
That's
and he listens.
him.
Yep, cool.
He hears every second of the show and never comment. Once in a while, he'll say something. You know what I mean?
But I just recently discovered the functionality where you can actually comment at a certain space in the podcast through SoundCloud. So if I'm not driving, I'm going to start doing that as well.
So is that how you listen to us most? Well, you listen to us in bed too, but when you're in the car,
either before I sleep or if I'm in the car, because I do long stretches driving. So
is that because we help you go to sleep?
No, actually, to be honest with you, I won't fall asleep while I'm listening to you guys. Probably once, and then I went back and tried to figure out where I dropped off.
Does your wife listen along?
No.
Hi, Vanessa.
Completely disinterested.
Oh, well, that's fine. But
not because of you guys, just she's not a podcast
thing.
person. No, she's not into it.
That's what Joe and I talk about a lot, this podcast people. And you're a podcast guy. You were a podcast guy before we started this, as well was Joe. And when Joe, I tell the story all the time, and you've heard it. When Joe said, let's do a podcast, I didn't have a fucking any idea what he was talking about.
That surprises me.
I really didn't. I
told Dave that last night.
I didn't have a fucking clue what he wanted. And it took me 4 months of knocking it around. And I told him, as long as we organically capture the spirit of our conversations in that other building over there, the Cabana, I'm down. He goes, what do I got to buy? I told him. And here we are. It's a year later. This is show 79. As you know, we've done more than 79 shows. But this is show 79, and we were hoping that we would have 100 by now, but that's okay. Life happens. We don't do this for a living, right? It's our hobby.
Well, we have till, I don't know when we launched. I know we were doing them before we launched. We had 12 before we launched, I believe.
Was it that many? Holy shit.
Well, I think we had 12, and then you figured out like 6 of them were all fucked.
Yeah,
because you didn't have
and the other 6 weren't
as
in. Fucked. 6 of them weren't as fucked.
Hey, Lindsay Lohan
has huge, beautiful breasts.
Got punched in the face.
Again?
Mm-hmm. By a mother of 2.
Mm-hmm.
About
over
what?
A child abduction bid. I don't know.
She claimed that the woman was abducting the 2 children and was saying, come with me. These children need to come with me. And the mother fucking walloped her.
Good. I hope
she has embraced Islam. Lindsay Lohan has.
I mean, who hasn't?
Maybe she'll join ISIS. Lindsay will be over there hacking somebody's head off. What do you think of that? Hey, how about that lying fucking lowlife cunt? That fucking
Blumenthal?
Christine Blasey, the fucking lying
you think she's lying,
cunt.
huh?
Not only do I think she's lying, I know she's lying, and I can prove it.
I
can prove it.
This I need to hear.
This
you
is
ready?
Great. This is going to be a hot take.
Okay.
Hot take.
Here's how she talks.
Yeah. She looked crazy. The vocal fry. You like the vocal fry?
Vocal fry and upspeak.
Terrified to be here.
Yeah.
This is a fucking woman who has She's a professor for one. Okay?
Yeah.
And she's a fucking psychiatrist, psychologist.
Yeah.
She's written several papers. She speaks in public, okay?
Yeah.
Speaks in public for a fucking living.
Yeah.
This is not Susie Homemaker, who's never left the fucking house and is, some little fucking flower. She is a lying fucking cunt, and her agenda is she said to herself, I'm going to make sure that this guy does not overturn Roe v. Wade, even though I have to get any man that fucks me really drunk. And then all they want to do is come on my face because they always say that it makes my face look better.
Right.
And I believe it because she's fucking gross, too. She's a lying, lowlife, piece of shit cunt. And she should have her head chopped up.
Is she
She's
that
an
crazy?
activist.
Is she crazy or is she an activist?
She's an activist.
Both. Yeah.
Well, she's fucking obviously she's crazy. She's a psychiatrist. Of course she's crazy.
Do you think that
She's a lying piece of shit.
Do you think that the boss?
And I hope someone chops her head off.
Do you think that the boss?
If you're out there and you're like
ahead.
fucking a little crazy,
Yeah.
and you're thinking about doing something,
Yeah.
I encourage you. Unless that's illegal to encourage somebody.
No, it's not.
But I hope that somebody out there is crazy enough to go up and chop her fucking head off.
Now
maybe
listen, let me get this
maim
out,
a
Dave.
few of her kids too.
Listen.
And she is really ugly.
Do you think that the boss would have done? It was up to the boss to officially tell the FBI to go do this. Do you think that he would have done it without being 100% sure that everything is all right? Like probably went back to Brett Kavanaugh and everybody went, listen, you know I don't want to do this.
I'll explain.
What's going to happen? And Brett Kavanaugh
I'm
went,
gonna tell you-
nothing's going to happen, or are they going to do it? And is this guy fucked? Is
Well,
this guy
first-
Kavanaugh fucked?
First of all, she should have never been given a fucking seat to testify in front of the Judicial Committee. Ever.
Okay.
This should all be behind closed doors.
He shouldn't have been on TV.
Shouldn't have been on
No,
television.
at the very least.
And you give somebody who has absolutely no proof this fucking stage.
No.
She has no proof. And it's like, well, why would she lie? I can give you fucking 10 reasons why she'd lie.
Go ahead.
She's crazy. She wants
That's
to fucking
number
be on,
one. I'm with
she
you.
Wants to be. She wants to be on She's a crazy left-wing lunatic.
Yeah.
So I mean, she teaches at Palo Alto University, and she fucking does studies and shit at Stanford.
Yeah.
This is not the little flower.
Can I just say something quickly about partisan
I listened
politics?
To
Go
like
ahead.
11 body language experts say
Yeah.
this person is so full of shit.
Yeah.
She's using her psychological training to come across as this fucking meek victim.
And then
she's not a victim.
They're all like, "Ooh, she knows so much." Yeah.
And
that's her job.
The other thing is 36 years ago.
The
So if it's
HIPAA
been
something.
bothering you for 36 years and fucking with your career, why don't you come forward with it?
Well, they're like, "Well, she did come forward. She told her therapist and she told her husband."
Her therapist doesn't know who the name of the guy is.
Yeah, right. She never named him because she didn't know who did it.
So she's a fucking lying cunt.
Now, did at any time anyone say to Brett Kavanaugh, "Do you know her? Did you?" I never. That wasn't clear to me.
I think he said he doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, he never has no clue who she is. So here's my other thing.
I hope, please, somebody go and chop her fucking head off.
Just tell me this though, and be honest.
Kill her husband too. He's probably.
By the way, it was
worm.
awesome fucking viewing and listening, and I was able to
No,
have it
it's
on my
awful.
computer at
It's
work.
awful.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
Brett Kavanaugh's opening statement, fucking Thursday afternoon. I knew that he was. I knew he was a secretary.
After the lying cunt.
He is a fucking Republican Party loon. He is a loon.
That's okay.
Okay, that's fine. That doesn't bother you. But it
No.
became clear to me that he has vitriol for the other side of the aisle. He literally,
Well, because they fucking
right. He has
they
vitriol for them.
sandbagged him
He
at
is
the
a
11th
partisan
hour.
guy.
This is an 11th hour
But
fucking
he's a partisan
sandbag
guy.
by the ever uglier, melting Dianne Feinstein, who continues to be the ugliest cunt ever.
Right.
And who just won't fucking go away, who's probably made
Why would
more
she?
money lying than anybody else. Her
She
husband's
certainly made
fucking-
more money lying than she did having money for sex. Sex
Oh
for
my
money.
God.
I have
On
to-
her back, anyway.
I have to interject here.
Go ahead.
lying
and tell you,
fucking whore.
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
Dr. Ford is not lying, and Brett Kavanaugh will not be seated. And I
Wow.
will explain to you why.
Why? Go ahead.
First of all, she spoke about the effect of the psychological effect of the trauma on the hippocampus.
That hippocampus.
What she did not talk about is something called recumbent memory. We all have memories of things that we say happened that did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. You were
Big old
talking.
milky
Stop
titty
that.
boy.
Stop it. Stop it. My wife, for example, for 20 years of our marriage, my wife would tell me the story about how all the time her father would pick her up on the back of his motorcycle in middle school. And, he'd pick me up. It'd great. All my friends would see me on the motorcycle. We'd go here and there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
For 20 years, I mentioned that to my father-in-law, and he looked at me and said, I did that once.
Never happened.
I did it once.
Right.
Now, so first of all, something happened to this woman, but I need to point out a couple of facts. First of all, Brett Kavanaugh is lying. I don't know if you actually saw the stuff on his high school yearbook page, and as despicable it is to bring that stuff up, he's lying. He said that certain things on that page meant one thing. They don't mean what he said they meant. The second thing is there are literally drawings, forensic drawings that they did, and I've seen them, based on her description of the house. So they're like, this is where the staircase is, this is where the house, this is what was in the living room, okay? I don't know if you guys noticed, but the obviously mostly ineffective prosecutor who was asking the questions, Kavanaugh himself served up his own demise. Because that one day in the diary, me and Mike and PJ and Squee are over at so-and-so's house for skis, okay? It was a weekday, and how could Dr. Ford have said it was Mike Judge, Brett Kavanaugh, and a kid named PJ, and another kid whose name I can't remember? How could she have come up with PJ? That's the first thing. Second thing is the prosecutor started to get into that date and who was there. That's when they pulled her, and that's when Lindsey Graham had his scream.
He had his fucking moment in the sun.
Here is
Lindsey
what
Graham was great.
He's a superstar.
He's a superstar.
I'd bang him, but this is what's going to happen.
A
over
gay
the
man, by the way.
So
That's
is
okay.
Lindsey Graham.
I mean, who isn't? That's what I'm saying.
So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going
He's
to
not
happen.
gay. He's just looking for the right woman.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen over the next few days.
Yeah.
The reason why they agreed to the FBI investigation, once again, has nothing to do with the two individuals. What it has to do with is Kavanaugh is lying, but what's going to happen is the FBI is going to go out. They're going to identify every house that belonged to the parents of the boys on that calendar page. And if they can match the design of the house to the description she did years ago, he's done.
Really?
He's
That
done.
simple?
And to your point,
Yeah.
yes, that's simple.
Yeah.
And to your point,
Go ahead.
he is. If you divorce his passion, because if it was me or my son, I too
He'll be
would
sworn in, and she's a lying cunt.
If you divorce
I hope
the
so, too.
passion and you look at what he said, he clearly revealed himself to be partisan. Now they all are.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all
are. But
Well, everybody's a partisan somewhere.
He's as
On
lunatic.
ideas.
He's as loony as Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's how loony he is. He's fucking loony.
just to be clear, boofing is not farting, and Devil's Triangle is not a drinking game. No, boofing is anal sex.
Come on,
And it's look it up.
I'm gonna.
In his high school, and I'll pull up the picture of the yearbook. He said, "Have you boofed yet?" That basically means.
By the
haven't
way,
had
I
anal.
boofed today.
Good for you. And the Devil's Triangle is not a drinking game. The Devil's Triangle is another term for spit roasting.
Come on.
Look it up.
He said it was quarters, man.
No, it's spit roasting.
Is it? It's funny how I know what spit roasting means, but I never heard of Devil's Triangle.
Yep.
Spit roasting is so funny. That's being watertight, Joe.
But I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I actually went back, I read it again, and I went, he's lying, which means he is a liar.
Yeah.
And
I don't mind that he's a liar.
It is not circumstantial to me that the minute the prosecutor started to drill into the location on that date,
That's another thing we're leaving out, and we don't care. But what's going to be paramount if, and I don't believe when, I lean more towards Joe than you. You guys are. I love that you guys have diametrically opposed analysis of the situation. I'm leaning towards
He'll be
Joe.
sworn in.
Yeah, he
too.
will. But the other thing, this guy is coming under fire because he actually likes how beer tastes. All right, you know what I mean? He likes how beer tastes, and you know you got to give a kid credit. I would give this guy more credit for how far he's come.
Well, that's my
and drinking like a maniac than I do for someone who's been sober the whole time. That guy's a fucking go-getter.
Well, the thing
He's a fucking drunk.
I want you guys to know that the latest entry into the Kinda Right T-shirt shop is a picture of Kavanaugh and the words "I like beer."
Yeah, who doesn't?
That's
Who's
$17.99.
this on your shirt? Dangerous.
That's our Lord and Savior Milo Yiannopoulos.
Oh yeah, I love Milo. I think Joe likes Milo too.
So he'll be. Wait,
like
let me finish before we go on to the next thing. Let me tell you what's going to happen over the next few days. The only reason why they agreed to it.
Stop shaking my table.
I'm sorry. The only reason why they agreed to it was the only reason why they agreed to it was
I
because
can't find out what this fucking boofing means. What does it mean?
It means
It means
nothing.
anal.
It doesn't mean
it
anal.
means inserting things into your
It
ass.
just doesn't.
I could see where he would say that he thought maybe it was farting because a lot of people think it's farting.
Nope. Take it from me. You're in my area now.
Keep talking.
Okay. What's going to happen over the next few days, it has nothing to do with the investigation. What it does, it allows all the senators who are up for election time to go back and poll their constituencies to see which way they're going to be allowed to vote so that they can get reelected. And that's the only way it's going to fall. Whether he gets seated or doesn't get seated is going to come down to one thing. Who can vote which way and keep their seat? But I maintain that if they can match the House and the location, he's done.
This whole other thing with the other accusers too, like,
All nonsense.
well, the third one's definitely nonsense. The fourth one's really nonsense, literally. The third one, though,
There's a third and a fourth?
yeah. Well, one of them was from Avenatti, and then another one was one from one of fucking Chuck Grassley's constituents.
The
that
world's
was instantly-
slimiest human being,
yeah, who deserves to
Mike
die.
Avenatti.
Yeah.
Whoever's out, chop his head off first before you go get that lying cunt
By the way,
who's
now,
been tortured by this.
what do you mean he's tortured?
No, this cunt has been saying she's been tortured by this her whole life.
Oh, the cock in her face?
It's hindered her career.
By the way,
Her career seems to
I
be
don't
going pretty
disbelieve that
fucking
he's
good.
that he did that. By the way,
No,
I've
I'm
done
not saying
fucking
I'm
very
not-
similar shit.
I'm not saying that this is out of the realm of possibility what this guy's
Right.
capable of. I'm
Right.
saying
It
she's
doesn't
fucking
matter.
lying.
Oh, she is?
Boof.
How did he find this quicker than you? In
I don't know.
Boof.
10 seconds.
Because I can't.
BOOF. To abuse any licit or illicit substance via insertion into one's rectum.
Oh, my goodness.
Example. Dude, I just saw Brian boofing some booze last night at the party.
Oh, so they used to anally...
It's either sticking things in
Butt
or getting it
chugging.
poured... Butt chugging.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I get
it's
it.
basically but also
right, that makes
boofing
sense.
is anal sex.
Nah,
it's kind of like
to me-
yiffing.
No. The boofing
No.
is the pouring of the booze in the
Well, he
probably
probably didn't want to admit.
Boof.
He probably
Second
didn't want to
definition.
say,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, boofing means I poured beer in my ass.
Yeah,
Boof.
yeah.
At the fucking congressional
I mean, who
hearing.
has?
Second
Jesus
definition: to
Christ.
stick something in your butt, generally drugs, but it can include anything.
She's
the
a
only way to
lying,
do E is to boof
Low
it.
life cunt.
She looked crazy. I was right.
Sally Sadness.
And then you notice in the statement, when she answered
You know
the
what?
questions, it wasn't. But in the statement,
Oh,
she
the-
did a
the-
lot of vocal fry.
Vocal fry in the upspeak.
That tells you right
She's
there.
a fucking
Disingenuous,
lying
disingenuous at best. At best.
Lying
the
cunt.
vocal fry, the upspeak, and the problem
She's
glasses
trying
did it
to-
in for me.
She's trying
Awful
to put on.
Problem glasses.
By the way,
And
that's
then
the
she did
first
this.
day she
Afterwards,
ever wore those glasses.
when
She
she
was
was
given
being
those
questioned,
glasses
she did
5
this.
minutes before
She
the thing
went-
started.
It's a defiant look.
Yeah.
She's a fucking lying. I've seen it. I've seen this several times.
Yeah.
She's a lying, low-life cunt, and I hope somebody kills her. I really do. I hope someone fucking kills her because she's really ugly. as well. So she really needs to be killed.
I got to disagree. I not only do I find anything attractive in 98% of women, I found her to be really attractive.
Ugh, she's disgusting.
I like all kinds of women, man. I like women.
You must have been drunk when you seen her.
I was at work.
Yeah, you were probably drinking at work.
I wasn't. I can't drink at work. Actually, I was in the throes of what I thought was my appendix bursting, but it turned out to be something else.
She's the unfuckable twin of Garth Alger.
I wonder. That's a fucking Dennis Miller type non sequitur. Who's that? Who's Garth Miller?
Garth Alger.
Garth Alger.
Do you remember Wayne and Garth, Wayne's World?
Oh, that was his last name.
Look at Dr. Ford.
That's pretty funny.
And those bullshit problem
He does.
glasses.
No, it's
Look at
Dr.
Garth Alger.
Blasey Ford.
Oh, excuse me.
That wasn't
Of course, she's a hyphenate.
Wait a minute, was that Spade?
Of course, she's a hyphenate.
Was that Spade?
No, it was Dana Carvey.
Oh yeah.
Of course, she's
Brilliant.
a hyphenate.
She has all
Mike Myers
kinds-
and Dana
She has
Carvey.
all of the telltale signs of someone who is a fucking activist.
Yeah.
And this is her. This is her. I'm gonna become the activist. I was in school around the same time.
Fuck it.
I can do this. I can wing this.
No.
Well, I mean, forgive me. The name of the one who had accused, when this all happened verbatim 30 years ago, what was her name again?
Huh?
She's got a friend that says I was there and this didn't happen.
No, and I don't know why I don't have enough caffeine in me. But remember the justice who was seated almost 30 years ago, but he was accused, and it turned into the same kind of nightmare. And he
Clarence
called it
Thomas.
Now, what was his accuser's name again?
Anita Hill.
Okay, let's look at what happened to Anita Hill, and we'll understand exactly why Dr. Hyphenate Ford went
Joe
ahead
can
and
do a
did it.
lot of time on this one.
The reason why is
She's doing great.
She award after award after board membership, after
Right.
public speaking again, after published book. I mean, you don't think Dr. Hyphenate Ford didn't see dollar signs in her eyes when this all came about?
As one of the 11 examples, I'm telling you, she lied through her fucking teeth.
I don't know. Something
Lying.
happened to her.
I'm telling you, she's lying.
So you think she never had?
I watched Anita Hill, and Anita Hill was more convincing than this fucking douchebag.
And Anita Hill was not entirely truthful either.
Well, Anita Hill lied
Yeah.
because this guy had 365 fucking people that worked with him come out and say, this is so far away from, I've spent fucking, entire nights working overtime with Judge Thomas, or whatever his fucking name was, or, because I don't know whether he's a doctor or whatever the fuck they call him. But when he was working for the EEOC, and this guy is the consummate professional, and these were good-looking broads.
Right.
So this one broad in this one period of time that worked for him, he's putting fucking pubic hairs on his Coke can. He's talking about Long Dong Silver. I mean, and it's just, at the end of the day, somebody's lying. It's either her or it's him. And I watched the Anita Hill thing, and she was way more believable. Maybe I was more naive when I watched it, but I watched that fucking thing live, and I watched all of it. And I'm like, holy shit, that's so hard, because it's like somebody's got to be lying, right?
Yes.
And I think it's her. Because at the end of the day, he hasn't diddled anybody else. His behavior hasn't. There's nobody else that came forward since Anita Hill and said, you know what, Anita wasn't lying. He did this to me too.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, we're in the age of piling on. That's first thing.
So this fucking whore, she doesn't have anybody that's come forward and said, yeah, he did this shit too to me. Other than the drunk girl who said he stuck his dick in front of her at the college party, and all of her friends say she wasn't even there. Which is this woman, the lying cunt, she has her friend that says she wasn't there at this house party.
Well, she said that's not entirely true. She said,
or it was a different house
she
party,
said,
or it was
no,
something.
basically, and I have not read the statement. It is my understanding that She said she had no recollection of it happening and had not heard of any of it happening. Right. She also, in the same statement, said that she believes that something happened to her friend, but she categorically denied any knowledge of knowing if it was
and
Brett Kavanaugh.
15-year-old girls never fucking tell their friends anything.
Right.
15-year-old girls would never, ever say something like, that fucking cocksucker grabbed me last night.
Yeah, they would never do that.
They would never do that. She's lying through her fucking teeth.
The abortion.
I think she was aborted.
No.
Somehow she fucking lived.
The abortion of due process is the part that disgusts me in all of this. All right. Brett Kavanaugh was a drunk rich kid.
Here's Brett Kavanaugh. And yes, he's a privileged, probably a prick. But he's got a hell of a record.
Sure.
And you give her, this fucking out of the woods cunt, the same fucking stage as him. Just because she says, when I was 15, he held me down and grabbed my tits. No, she says, I was held down. And to grab my tits. And I haven't been able to continue in my career. Oh, you've written 17 fucking books. Were you going to write 50? You fucking lying whore.
The thing that's disturbing to me is that
I can't speak in public. I'm very nervous about being here.
Bullshit. Oh,
You lying cunt.
The abortion.
Come on, Al. Work with me.
Is that both of these people's lives are irreparably changed because we can't let our president have this.
Well, that's another thing. She was a huge Trump detractor. She was huge. She was marching in women's marches against Trump. Whole 9 yards.
Don't cloak this in virtue. And don't say it's not political. It's just this is the part that I'm actually glad about, because I think the long-term effect is I personally think if they're going to get him, they're going to get him based on what I talked about earlier.
The FBI stuff.
If they don't get him and he gets seated,
Catch him in
there's
a lie.
always going to be a cloud, because he's not telling the truth about what those things mean.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though.
I think that this is having a profoundly opposite effect. I think this is going to be the highest participated in terms of the raw votes midterm election that we are going to see in our lifetime. And if it goes the way I think it's going to go,
it's got to be a Republican route.
It's going to be historic. And I hope it does, because regardless of all of it, who's right, who's wrong, or anything, I am disgusted. I am a fan of the American system. I am a fan of liberty and patriotism. And for these fucking people on both sides to come out and cloak this thing in virtue, and we all see how transparent it is.
Oh my God,
it's a nightmare.
Disingenuous at best.
I mean,
how dare you? The cloaking in virtue makes me crazy.
I want to just say, before I ask you any questions, Dr. Ford, well, how brave you are to come forward at this time. You're so courageous. And she said, you little fucking flower.
The grandstanding.
You fucking asshole scumbag. Oh, Dick Durbin. You fucking rodent cocksucker.
And there's nobody that I want to get, lectured about virtue about, than a guy who, in a published article 10 years ago, said when he was 17 he would grope 15-year-olds. There's nobody who I want to take a virtue lesson from more than Cory fucking Booker. Clown. God. You're a clown, Cory Booker.
I hate Cory
You're a clown. You're a fraud. What's that?
He's an embarrassment.
But you know what?
He's a clown.
He's dumb.
He's going to run for president.
We talked about
Please do.
He's so fucking dumb.
He won't make it through.
And
by the way.
it's a former, like,
even
how can he be dumb? He's got a law degree, and no, I'm telling you, he's like Roger Goodell dumb.
He's a
dumb.
useful idiot. Look it up.
By the way, he broke the law releasing those documents that he did, and then he just refused to observe the procedure that the chairman put forward how this was going to go, he was like, "It doesn't matter. It's okay for you," but he's just like he'll tell you what's okay.
Yeah, because they know better than you.
Well,
the Democrats are going to save
little
us
walkout,
from
which is
ourselves.
fine.
No one's gonna cut.
He's
Everybody's
out of line.
afraid to come after it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And she's not running.
Oh, come on.
Cory Booker is a fucking, and that's the problem with Cory Booker.
Yeah. Useless.
And I mean, in the worst sense of the word.
No. And by the way, I didn't disbelieve him when he said my lifetime ambition was to sit on this committee. I don't disagree, because he was hoping that by the time he got around to being on it, he could appoint a bunch of activist fucking justices. You know what I mean? And say what you want. Now, my greater point about Brett Kavanaugh early was clearly a Republican Party operative, but a great judge and someone who is going to do what you're supposed to do when you get hired to be a Supreme Court justice.
Interpret the Constitution.
Follow the law.
That's it. What's the law say? What does the law say? What does the law say? That's all this guy cares about.
What you want to do.
And
what
Joe,
does it say?
That goes back to a fundamental disagreement that you and I have. If you are a conservative by nature, you are suited.
To all the
You are suited to be a Supreme Court justice. If you are a liberal, you are not suited to be a Supreme Court justice.
Okay.
So no matter what, how much work fucking Brett Kavanaugh has done on the part of Republican Party shit, by definition, the job says, what does the fucking Constitution say? And that means when you interpret it correctly, you are a conservative.
I know
when you find things that aren't there, that's what liberals do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course that means that you can be ass raped.
Now, again, maybe you disagree with the way shit is set up here, but the job of the Supreme Court is to interpret whether whatever is in front of them is constitutional.
we have three branches. One interprets, one creates, and one executes.
In the easiest, quickest possible way.
Yeah.
Meaning not taking a long way around the barn and writing some fucking long, lengthy thing on fucking equal protection, which is how they fucking came up with that horrid decision on gay marriage.
Yeah.
It's an awful fucking decision. It's this torture.
It's torture.
Language.
It's torture.
Because they had fucking equal protection under the law.
Anyway.
Everybody had the same law that applied to them.
Yep.
If you were a dude, you could marry a girl. If you were a girl, you could marry a dude.
Yep.
Everybody had, it was fucking equal protection under the law.
Yeah.
So there was nothing there to pin gay marriage onto equal protection.
Right.
It was all bullshit.
Well, nobody more than me appreciates the fact that you guys have a copy of the Declaration and the Constitution
Right here.
on the deck.
It's always here.
I-
Not
I
that
would
we don't
make-
refer to it.
We don't read
I would make
But
a
it's a good
recommendation.
prop.
I would make a
I'm
recommendation.
glad that you noticed that, by the way.
Include a copy of the Federalist Papers, because when
we'll
Hamilton
never read that.
That's in my
Hamilton
bathroom.
Madison,
That's in my bathroom.
when Hamilton, Madison, and Jay put this thing together,
Yeah.
they admitted two things. One, it will most likely destroy itself about once a century, and two, it has the ability to become something so large and it's so disconnected from the experience of the public and the citizens. They were right on both cases.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the Democrat Party, they literally legislate into the cracks. Okay.
Okay.
If all of those regulations, the over 800 regulations that stifled our economy for a decade under the Obama administration, were really helpful.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you pass them in the law? You did it by executive order. And the minute they were removed, we entered into this historic economic period. If there was lawfulness to gay marriage, to abortion, why did it have to be done as a bench interpretation by the Supreme Court and not legislated into law to be executed by the other branch?
Right.
And I think in the long run, this
from the dawn of the
hurts
party,
the whole fag thing. I'm telling you, it really does.
What hurts it?
Because what it does is it
It hurts the whole fact.
It does. I mean, because I don't give a shit. Look,
I know you
I
don't care what
whether
people
they
do
get
in bed.
married.
You don't really
go
care.
ahead, get married.
Right. It's not an
Enjoy
issue.
yourself.
Right.
But you know something? It hurts the whole
Enjoy
fact
yourself.
because it puts everybody who's truly anti-gay for religious reasons
Right.
on the defensive.
Right.
And they're gonna fucking do all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of challenges. There's gonna be the cake guy. There's gonna be all these things, and the fucking cake guy won. And I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot of wins that are gonna go to the Supreme Court where this guy doesn't believe in this religiously. He doesn't have to make you a fucking cake, and he doesn't have to write you a poem, and he doesn't have to print you fucking books on how you and your husband love to ass fuck each other on Thursdays and Saturdays. He doesn't have to do it because
we like
he
to
religiously disagrees with it. And
Tickle
it
my
would be
tits.
much better to have it passed slower. But they want it all quick, and now you got it.
Well, when
Get married and enjoy it.
when you go back
But
to the
people are going to call you fucking bull dykes and fags.
when you go back through the Saul Alinsky stuff, and then you jump actually back into the Marxism. One of the tenets of controlling a populace is divorcing the population from religion. The gay marriage
And
thing,
taking away all the guns.
right? Well, that's one of them too. That's the last one. Okay, they got the health care, so there's only a few left. But what I'm getting at is this: the real sort of problem that we're going to have because of the gay marriage thing is everybody thought, well, the next thing is we're going to go back to polygamy, because people forget that polygamy was a huge issue, and that's why Mormonism was relegated the way it was. It was
Hey,
about
being a polygamist is way more normal than fucking your buddy in the ass.
well the
I'm not so sure about that, by the way.
the collateral damage
It's
on
equally as deviant. It's
The
equally as
the
deviant.
collateral
You marry 5 broad, you're still having sex with a broad, which is normal. And if you're fucking a guy in the ass, it's what. It's
I think there's a
not
lot more
normal.
homos than there are polygamists.
the
dude.
collateral damage of the gay
probably.
marriage
Yeah.
stuff is all this transgenderism bullshit, which again they cloak in the virtue of civil rights.
Well, I'm
the
thinking
real
about
issue.
becoming a strong woman and having.
I've been a
especially when I
strong
go
woman
to
for
court,
years.
I'm gonna say I'm a fucking woman today. I want you to address me as Miss
Yeah.
Mrs. Brennan,
I'm not. What about address me as?
and I
is-
need
MOOORRRE.
bathroom breaks because I'm on my period.
The gay
Right.
marriage thing.
And where's the tampon dispenser?
The gay marriage thing
Because I've only been abroad for a day.
allows people to get angry at the religious people, because the other goal there is to defang the religion and ultimately to eliminate the tax status on churches and synagogues and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to say, oh well, that's churches no longer are tax free. So again, it's ultimately a money grab.
Right.
And that's the real thing behind the gay marriage. It's not in just like everything else, we cloak it in virtue. Abortion. I mean, everybody knows Margaret Sanger was a devout racist and eugenicist, and she started Planned Parenthood to eliminate the mongrel races. But we cloak it in personal virtue and the personal liberties of being able to make that decision. And it's better than George Orwell could have ever thought, because shit, the government doesn't have to control it. We're doing it to ourselves.
She sounds like an okay broad. Get rid of the fucking mongrels.
I read a statistic recently.
And the
that
fucking
said-
retards. Get too many retards around.
I read a statistic recently that said in some urban areas, as little as 1 in 4 children come to full term. 3 out of 4 are aborted.
Well, I think that's great.
Well, nobody wants to. You talk about statistical data. Gee, why has crime gone down so dramatically over the last couple of decades?
Because the kid that would have been stealing your car or your bikes got aborted.
And that's the thing that everybody's
That's why
afraid
I'm
to
fucking
say.
pro-abortion. And I'm not talking about people of color either.
What do you think
'Cause
about?
I say the N-word a lot less than L. But I do think that abortion should be legal.
What do you think about? What do you think about FINRA going after Elon Musk for tweeting about? I'm thinking about.
Elon Musk on my list today.
What do you think?
Who's FINRA?
The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority.
Hey,
Oh,
let me
they're
have
suing.
that,
The SEC is
Yeah, the
actually
SEC.
suing.
Yeah.
Let me have that one of those fireballs.
What do you think about, first of all,
Is
that
he
they
going
went
after because of what he said about going private?
Yeah, they're suing
Right.
him.
You're not supposed to do that.
The
Now,
United States government.
I'm going to tell you this. First of all, just so you guys know, you're not supposed to do that.
What he did?
Yeah, that could be construed no different than
but
doing insider
You know
trading.
what? He said
But-
sorry.
Well, no, hang on. I got to tell you this.
Good.
The minute it happened, I went, "This is bullshit," because somebody saw a paycheck in this. Now, let me share something with you. Ready?
Christy Blasey Ford is going to go and say Elon Musk.
Let me read you this. Ready?
Fucked her in the ass.
Right.
Musk out as Tesla chair, remains CEO, and wrote a check for $40 million to the SEC in a settlement. That's all it was about. It was a big, fat paycheck.
Is he out?
Yeah, he's still Elon Musk. But basically, somebody went, "Ooh, we're going to get a nice little revenue check on this one." Now, yes, he caused the fluctuation in the stock, but the minute it happened, I'm like, I just want to know how big the settlement
general
is.
fund of the country. I don't see.
But you understand what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with consumer protection. It had everything to do with collecting that revenue.
Yeah, but who gets the credit for it? You know,
Who cares? Somebody got paid.
nobody got paid. Who got paid?
Somebody had to cash a check for $40 million.
Yeah, it goes to the SEC.
Yeah,
Which goes into the general fund of the country.
right. And then what happens?
Just goes. It goes into the treasury,
Right.
and then gets lost with the trillions of fucking paperwork that are floating around in there.
The prosecution
I mean,
rests, Your Honor.
It's not like a guy. There's a dude that just had a $40 million payday.
Right. But they turned a tweet into a $40 million check. Who got hurt?
Elon is probably happy
he
to
doesn't-
not be CEO
Yeah,
of
he had to-
Tesla.
he had
Hey,
to-
you know what? Fuck it. Let it. Because he's so stressed out over Tesla. And this guy is... A guy like Elon Musk comes around.
Once a generation.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
Like every 20 years, you might get an Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking visionary, and he needs to be spending his time. He got the car company up and started running, and I think electric cars are going to come along, and he needs to be focused on some other shit because there's much bigger fish for him to fry.
Dr. Hyphenate Rice? What is
Guy
it?
is
Ford.
he's such a genius.
Dr. Hyphenate Ford.
Visionary, Joe. He's a
Did you know
visionary.
that? Did you know that
and
Kavanaugh's
He's Galileo.
Did you know that Kavanaugh's mom
He's Copernicus.
was the attorney in the foreclosure lawsuit on Ford's parents' house?
Say that again.
She was the
Kavanaugh's mom, who was an attorney,
Yeah.
ruled in a foreclosure proceeding on the house that belonged to Blasey Ford's
Not
parents.
ruled.
She was involved, yes.
Yeah.
She also,
wasn't a judge.
we all know she's a longtime donor to the Democratic Party, but her brother works for Baker Law Firm and has for 15 years. Baker Law Firm was the law firm for Fusion GPS. Tell me she's not a political hack. Tell me that's not a setup.
Well, she's an activist.
Yeah.
That's what I told you from when I started calling her a cunt.
But she also she had a personal axe to grind.
Again, man,
too.
at the fucking peril of her fucking family's future. Holy shit. That's how fucking loony she is.
Because there will
They
be...
have had to relocate, and I understand that. But
she's going to need a lot of money to
choice.
go away. She might, but I bet she's got a shitload of money. She's very...
She'll be all right.
She's published. She's very well respected in her field.
Well, I know they call her professor. Does she have a tenureship at a big university? Which
I think
university?
she's got like dough. She's published papers. She's written books.
Well, if she's got a
I think she's all
tenureship
set.
at a big state university,
she was talking
she's
about
probably
moving to New Zealand.
She's probably looking at $250,000-$300,000 a year just for the professorship. Never mind. You know what I
She's going to
mean?
get her book deal, and she's going to go on a permanent speaking tour, and she's going to be fabulously wealthy.
There you go. See?
She can't name the year or where it was happened. She has no corroborating witnesses. She waited 20-plus years to come forward. Her only proof is her word, and there are pictures of her wearing pussy hats
So
at
listen.
protests.
Oh, really? So listen. Does that?
why I kept
She should
saying-
probably go for a big-time Hollywood acting job then.
Her?
If that's what you guys are saying. If I'm reading what you guys are saying,
Boofing is
What
not
is she going to
farting.
play? The next fucking bad grandpa?
the fucking Wicked Witch of the
The
East in the next
Wrinkled up
revival
old
of fucking
cunt, lying
Dorothy and the fucking
Oh, she's... My
Wizard
wife
of Oz.
is my wife not to get off track here. My wife is so fucking beautiful, isn't she?
Your wife is fine, dude.
For 55,
No.
this woman's 51.
Now listen.
And she looks like she's been...
Patty's-
It looks like somebody dropped fucking hot asphalt on
Let
her
me go
face.
on record and finish this statement.
My
Patty
wife's skin is so much better than
She's
this.
not hot for a 55-year-old. She's
Hey.
hot. She's hot. She's hot. Not for a 55-year-old. Don't
My
qualify
wife is
it.
hot. Honey, you're hot.
She's hot.
I always tell her that. She's a beautiful woman.
I've been in love with your wife since the day I met her.
Well,
I'm not even kidding.
And you're not going to see her going up and going.
That video that I made, of your guys' wedding, which I don't know if you ever saw. It's
I did
too
not.
been
I have to watch that. It's been a long time.
I made a production video because I went there.
It was great.
I did a 2-camera shoot
Nice.
of the behind the scenes. They had a videographer for the ceremony, but I did a 2-camera shoot for the 2 days I was there.
Talk about priceless.
And I
mean,
came home and edited it before they got here, and I had Anna put it on their bed in a gift bag when they got home. That was a love letter from me to his wife. That video, it really was.
But it was
It's a love letter.
You know
Patty,
what?
I love you. You're my dream girl.
like I could never produce a gift like that to him.
Yeah, well, that's
No, you kill.
No, I'm serious.
It's a different thing.
There
I'm an
is-
but I'm an artist. I'm an
Joe,
artist.
There's
I'm an
no
artist.
way.
Look around you. You both have different ways of displaying.
No,
it
you have
to
different
your
ways.
friendship.
Well,
Look around.
Joe
understand.
provided
I'm a
the
lunatic.
PA for yesterday's party. He bought me a Brit. Did I tell you this?
No.
Joe,
Yeah, but
the amplifier. The
nobody
power,
could ever come up with that video is priceless.
But Joe did
I'd like
all
to
the.
see it.
Joe actually put a lot of thought into the power amp. He knew that I have power amps, but he knows that I don't have like a really prime, good power amp to power my system right now.
Right.
He did the research, and even though he gave Kat and I a very, very generous gift when we got married, even
I
though
don't remember that.
he gave me a very generous gift, a monetary gift, and then
Maybe I should take the amp back.
you're never getting it back. Although it's in the truck if you want it, buddy.
No.
Because
No.
it's not going to be used for a little while till the next show. Anyway, that's only for gigs. That thing,
Well,
by the way.
the sound was extraordinary last night.
Oh, good. I got a lot of positive feedback. I got some negative feedback from Luke Tengren about he felt that Scott's vocals weren't EQ'd properly, which is a very high tech.
Do you know something?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I thought Scott should have been louder.
His vocals.
Yeah.
He told me it was too loud. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I disagree.
I thought they should have been louder.
I thought borderline we were too loud for the vocals, but it's a tough room. The ceiling was low. I don't know if you noticed, but I brought in carpet. I hit low. I was in Lowe's for something else, and they had a fucking clearance like 3 weeks ago. You know, their fucking inventory clearance, bringing in new shit. They had all the fucking remnants out. I bought like 5 decent-sized remnants for $24. I carpeted that place at noon yesterday, and
Now-
then we set the band up. Because the low ceiling, the wood floor, I didn't want any feedback. There was no feedback.
Pal, you guys were playing your asses off, and halfway into the room, your mom was sitting there having a conversation at normal
I
voice
thought-
level.
that's what
with
I
her
thought.
niece and her. And
I
her
got complaints
neighbor.
that the recorded music during dinner was too loud.
That was too loud.
How is that too loud and we weren't too loud? How was that
Because
possible?
It was because it was proper.
Yeah.
I was absolutely.
I
floored.
did turn the
So
I
nice
did
to
turn
see
the dinner
everybody.
music
The
down.
food
It was
was
all it
terrific.
was jazz and Frank Sinatra. I was
the music.
I'm like,
you guys
how is
were
that
incredible.
too loud?
And,
Huh?
and thank you for letting us all fart around in the microphone.
No, that's what the second set of the wedding's all about.
Oh, my
Everybody
God.
came up and sang. It was great. Dancing. It was great. It was perfect. A lot of people left. I would say we had about 85 people for dinner. We had planned on 95. About 10 people bailed last minute. There were some people who came, like Evan brought some friends who were supposed to come later, but they ate. That's great. So we fed about 85 people. I would say at the end of the first set, there was probably 65 people still there, and then probably 35 people stayed till the end. So that ain't bad. That ain't bad. You know what I mean?
I was touched inappropriately by somebody's drunken mom, and I want you guys to know
Oh, Josh's mom?
it's affected my career.
Oh, stop it. Joanne took all the photos. They had a professional photo booth. And
I'm going to
everything. It
need
was
to build
great.
a second. Can we get a second door on this room
did you
after
get in
I
the
got
photo booth?
groped?
Patty and I did.
Good for you. Thank you.
And she was kind of drunk, so she was like putting her legs around the old guy.
She didn't.
That's
She didn't.
awesome.
Some great.
Bill.
She didn't get that drunk.
Oh well.
Like in her wedding video.
The day is young.
We're talking about the
I
wedding
said
video.
to her in the wedding video,
Tits were produced.
Stop flashing, or I'm not going to bury you. But she, I wasn't feeling good, and plus, I think if I had one more beer, I wouldn't have been able to drive. Because I said, if we get out of here now, I can drive home, go to bed, I'll feel fine.
No, I knew when you left. I was like, I'm glad you stayed that long. You know what I mean?
It was a fantastic.
You weren't turned up. Was it too loud for you?
No, not at all.
Did you appreciate what Scott and Dave are doing on guitar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
How about-
what a perfect mixture.
How about Evan?
The whole thing
I
is
love
extraordinary.
Evan,
He's a
so-
star.
Never mind, love him, but that's what the band is.
he's a
The
star.
He is. By the way, the name of the band is Mad Randy. Evan's Mad Randy.
Well, he's a superstar,
Yeah,
and
he got the look too, don't he?
and
With the Robert Plant hair and
if
the fucking,
anything,
He does have the look.
If anything starts to transpire, I pledge all of my Zionist
to
powers
manage his money.
because he's a star.
Yeah, no,
He's
a good kid,
he's
too.
beautiful.
He's not just beautiful, but he's a good worker too. This kid has tremendous work ethic, like
Of course,
ridiculous work.
Of course,
ethic,
he's his.
which
he's
he got
his-
from his mom and kind of from me. I don't really have work ethic. When I'm working, I got ethic, but
between his
I'm
grandfather
looking to
on
not
his
work.
between his grandfather on his mother's side and
Yep.
his great grandfather on our side.
Well, that's where all the machinist shit
that
comes
kid
in.
is, and don't tell me that's not genetic because look at my son.
Oh, I know. Yeah, which I was amazed
genetic.
at.
Like
I
the
didn't,
machinist
I didn't
stuff?
realize he's a fucking Air Force
Joe,
plane mechanic.
he got into the University of Denver,
Yeah.
private university in Denver, Colorado.
Born in
And
1997.
I'm not ashamed to say, $68,000 a year.
The great
out of
Gabriel.
state.
Yeah.
They looked at his grades, they looked at his whatever, and they said, "Come up with 12. We'll see you in the fall."
Hi, Gabe.
Ooh, that's
He
great.
went for 1 year, and he came home and he said, "I'm not going back." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because I can't sit in a chair and stare at a wall. I have to do this on my feet." He
Right.
now is an aerospace tech with the 57th Viper Battalion. He services the planes for the 64th Aggressor Unit out of Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas. Let me explain to you what
no
that is.
kidding.
Let me explain to you what that is because it's kind of neat. And I don't talk to him often, and I don't really complain because I kind of remember somebody else who vanished entirely. So I'll just bite my tongue and the cat in the cradle and the silver spoon and the rest of it. But
Right.
his unit,
My son is just like me.
Mhm.
Yeah, my son is just like me.
when those planes hit the ground and his team chalks the tires, he's responsible for the engines and other things he doesn't talk to me about on the aircraft.
Right.
F-16s. Now, at Nellis Air Force Base, they do what's called red flag, which is training. And at Nellis Air Force Base, not just all the Top Guns in our military branches, but also our allies. They come in about 3 or 4 times a year. Like last February, he says, "Dad, this place is full of French people." Well, it was the French pilots and their teams and their planes.
Yeah.
They come in, they load the planes hot and live. They fly up over the desert in Nevada and they fucking dogfight because you have to know what the plane's going to do. And
Right.
now, granted, they're not shooting bullets and missiles at each other. That's all simulated.
Right.
But they load them hot so that they know what to do. My son maintains the engines for the 64th Aggressors. Those are our planes, but they're painted up like the different colors of the different MiGs, and they play the bad guys.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
So, and he probably has like, let's make this as fucking mint as possible so we can get a MiG to shoot down an F-16.
Well, you got to imagine the guys who are flying. I mean, they're the ones keeping the real pilots sharp. So he's got some real. But it's funny though because they bring the planes in, they land them, they have to go through certain protocols before the pilot can leave the jet. But he says the exchange is always kind of the same. The pilot looks at the crew and says, "Thanks for taking care of my bird," and the crew looks at the pilot and says, "Thanks for breaking it." You got to understand, some of these planes are as old as I am.
I know. The
That
F-16
particular
has been
design.
around forever.
And I'm scared to death. The F-35 just had its first combat mission. I'm telling you, that plane is not done. They put the planes in, they push them through production, and then they figure out all the problems as they retrofit.
What are those things coming in now? 100, 200 mil or something?
No, I think they're $500 million.
Really?
That is the grossest fucking program.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nightmare when you look at the trail.
I am disgusted that we're spending It's a $1 trillion program.
Wow.
It's the most expensive program in military history.
It adds up quick at $500 million a plane.
We're in a very historic.
And who are we going to fight?
Well, we're in a very
China,
historic.
eventually.
We're in a very historic period in terms of warfare, because the goal with the F-35.
By the way, Trump and Kim love each other. Sorry, go ahead. That's the only ones who I can think that might be. I mean, and they're not even an issue because we would lay waste to them quickly.
Well, believe me, if it went down tomorrow, our
China
military
would go,
superiority,
all right.
Our military superiority. The Panzer tank was 20 times the tank that we had. The problem is
the Sherman.
The problem is for every Panzer tank there were 40 Sherman tanks. So that ends that conversation. All right, we got the guns and we got the grain. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to basically repurpose warfare. The whole idea is we don't want dogfighting jets and we don't want bombers. We want one jet that can fly at the lower stratosphere and bomb the shit out of things surgically. But if it has to, it could still dogfight. Because the future of air warfare is going to be F-35s in the lower stratosphere and drones, baby, drones.
Well, I'm saying I don't think it's F-35s. I think it's all drones. I think it's going to be droned F-35s.
One thing you must remember, at the end of the day when it comes to air warfare, it comes down to the pilot. You understand what I'm saying?
The individual pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Russian jets right now are, I'm going to say it, way better in their design, in their maneuverability in close quarters combat. We have better fucking pilots, and that's the one.
So why
that's
is
the
that?
rub.
Is the pilot training better, or
Yeah.
do we have we certainly have similar pools to draw from.
Hey, I'll leave it to you because I don't know much about it. All I know is they built that F-22 Raptor.
Great
That's a
plane.
fifth generation plane, and they made. I mean, they spent somewhere in the fucking neighborhood of, $300 or $400 billion on it, and then said, and it was a great plane. It's a fifth generation fighter. So whatever that means, meaning it's got the fucking the helmet you put on, wherever you look, you see something. If you look up, whether there's a panel there or not, apparently you see all around the plane.
Yeah.
Because the fucking helmets are classified.
Right. The virtual reality and the camera.
You see, it's like your head sticking out of the plane, and you can look 360 degrees.
Yeah, all the stuff we have in our cars comes from that. But here's the first thing is why is the F-35 why is the F-35 proliferated? Obviously, the military industrial complex, the number of jobs and everything else. But here's the thing that just to give you perspective. Oh, we spend too much on our military. Bullshit. What percentage of the federal budget is the military? What percentage of the United States federal budget is actually our military?
It's somewhere around. It's a sixth.
16%.
That's a sixth.
64% of our fucking federal budget.
With health care.
Well, because it's $3 trillion.
That's the economy.
It's
that's
$3
not,
trillion.
That's not our budget. That's our economy.
No, that's what's allocated in the federal budget to military spending.
Military's
16%.
like
Sounds
500
about
million,
right.
and that's a low.
right.
500 billion. That's a low number too.
Yeah.
Do you realize
We were
that
spending 8 when we were hot in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
well, what's killing us?
8 trill?
800 million.
Oh,
a year.
800 million, okay.
800 billion a year. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
What's
But that's because George, the war criminal, got us into fucking Iraq.
Yeah. You know what? Whoever was in that seat probably would have done it.
I don't know.
John McCain would have.
They
He
really
ran
wanted
that
to go.
year.
They wanted to go to Iraq, and I don't know why.
because nothing spurs an economy like a good war.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And just so you clear, just
that's
so we're
Winston
clear,
Churchill shit.
just so we're clear, you narcissistic, foolish, ignorant, self-aggrandizing children out there, I want to make one thing perfectly clear.
By those, you mean
There-
registered Democrats?
There are no transgenders in a carpet bombing. Okay, we've been at fucking war in Afghanistan for over 2 decades. How many pairs of shoes do you have in your closet? These motherfuckers have no idea how good we have it.
Oh, well,
You want to talk about the 1%?
oh.
You want to talk about the 1%? Do you realize every single solitary person
I know.
walking in this country right now, our poorest people, are still among the top 1% on the planet?
Do you know who Doug Stanhope is?
The most
course he does.
despicable, self-loathing,
Did you
horrible person on the planet, and I love him for it every day.
Did you watch Doug Stanhope?
So self-fucking.
nice
Beer
to be
Hall
home.
Push? No, I haven't seen Nice to Be Home. That's the one he recorded in Bisbing, right?
Yes.
I haven't seen that one yet.
And this could be in Beer Hall Push, but he said he talked about our poor. You know, we're not really poor. It's like, you know, you still need to. You have a flip phone.
Yeah,
And
that's being poor.
You have to open up your passenger window with pliers, and you dodge neon because the handle fell off.
It's bullshit.
And you have to watch Walking Dead on BitTorrent. I mean,
Right.
being
That's
poor
being
over
poor in
here.
the United States. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's people.
Is there even a BitTorrent
Look,
anymore? Why
isn't
do
it
you even
amazing?
need BitTorrent?
You
Well-
can sit here and watch.
I don't know. I'll check my Zoom.
I got fucking the top line Comcast, fucking everything. I don't need BitTorrent.
I've been off cable for almost 5 years. I love it.
Imagine that
part of my
we're
benefit
sitting here
package,
watching this
man.
cunt. You grabbed my tit when he was 15. When I was 15. And there's people that can't fucking eat.
Yeah, right.
You know, and this cunt, my career was. I hope this fucking cunt dies so bad.
I think at the end of the day,
Because you know what? She created. Not only is she a lying piece of shit, but they gave her
Joe, don't hold
a
back.
forum so that she could come up and destroy somebody else's credibility. And you know what? Maybe the guy's a piece of shit. But
I'm pretty sure he's a piece of shit, by the way.
our whole process got fucked by that. You should have to prove something.
All right. I'll
Give
take
us
it,
some fucking proof.
No, I'll take it one further. Because
Bring us another person that was there with you that says this happened.
I'll take it one further. Okay. Like I said, in my assessment of the actual raw data, I know what they have to do to discredit Kavanaugh. I do tend to think that if they don't make that connection, he's going to get sat. But let's just be realistic, because it's a lot more nefarious than a lot of people want to believe.
They're going to sit him, and he's going to go after
Kavanaugh-
overturning gay marriage.
Kavanaugh
And
was
abortion.
on Kenneth Starr's team during the Clinton investigation. In fact, Kavanaugh was the one who said we have to go into the sexual history. Read the documents. The Democratic Party, the DNC, and the Clinton fucking murder machine spent millions of dollars digging up any and all dirt they could find on every member of Kenneth Starr's team. In fact, I believe there were 2 guys who ended up losing their jobs because they were found to have sexual impropriety. So let's take a step back. 6 FBI investigations as part and parcel of his career. 1 investigation from the American Bar Association. 2 investigations by the committee he's in front of now. And the Clinton death machine came up with nothing.
Right.
And I will remind everybody.
But admittedly,
I will remind everybody, I'm the one who's saying this is what the FBI needs to do, and they might find it. But
hey,
come on.
they got a
you wanna hear
lot of people. They
you
got
wanna hear
about
a great
400
headline?
people working
Here's a
on
great
it right
headline by Arwa
They're using the $40 million they got from Tesla to pay for it.
Madawi. Here's a great headline. Kavanaugh fight proves yet again America hates women. From someone named Arwa Madawi. I wonder what country she comes from.
wonder what
I wonder how much
religion she
they
is.
love women.
Yeah.
At the country where Arwa Madawi comes from.
Ms.
You fucking
Ms.
raghead cunt.
Miss
Right.
Madawi, one question from the
peanut gallery.
Dave,
Yes.
Nashville,
Oh,
Tennessee.
dude,
and quick
we
question.
don't do last names here.
Beep. I just did it to myself.
I don't edit
Can you
anymore.
explain-
Fuck you, Arwa Madawi.
Can you
cunt.
can you explain the concept of tequila to those of us who are not Muslims?
Tequila,
please?
well, you
tequila.
fucking you put it in a shot glass with a
tequila.
lime and salt. You're good.
Tequila.
Good.
You are commanded by Allah to lie to the kafir to advance Islam. You are commanded.
Oh, wow. They like lying.
It's called takia. So every time they go, oh, by the way, I will say
You
this.
can be
though.
deceptive.
No, you are commanded to be deceptive.
I wish that thing moved up like
Me
ours,
too.
but
I'm
it
dying.
doesn't.
I'm going to put like a box under it when we break.
I'll do that now.
doesn't
Hold on.
move.
You are
No,
commanded.
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's short and stubby, not unlike myself.
That microphone stand?
No,
It doesn't.
move up
I tried.
Like ours. It's different.
It is?
Yeah.
You are commanded.
Bass drum mic.
But I will say this, and I want Joe's take on this one, because I these are things that I have studied, not only because I am a student of theology, but because I personally don't want to get beheaded. Joe, I want to say something, but then I want your take on it. They always say
I don't get technical. 'Cause I don't
Islam.
read anything.
Don't get high tech, man.
no, but I want. And I just brought up tequila. You are obligated to lie.
Tequila's
But
delicious, man.
I want to tell you this:
drank a lot of it last night.
when the imam comes on CNN and says Islam is a religion of peace.
Peace and love.
Well, I want to tell you that he's in fact not lying, because our Judeo-Christian definition of peace is growing understanding, a lifetime of learning, and if people are different, we can coexist. You do you, I'll do me, and we can love and respect each other. That's what peace is.
Hey, by the way, she's a Palestinian.
Shocker.
Fucking
Really?
cunt.
Tell us about the tequila.
How many of you think America hates women? Yet your family's launching rockets into Israel. You
Right.
fucking miserable cunt.
So that would
Die,
you,
Palestinians,
would you
die.
agree that that's the definition of peace? Okay.
Say it again.
Peace
Yeah.
is coexisting or living without violence or anger or hatred,
Yeah.
regardless of the fact that we may have differences, different cultures, and so forth.
Okay.
It's coexisting. You do you, I'm going to do me. We don't have
Yeah.
to do the same, but we can live next to each other and we can be cordial and polite.
Well, that's what America
Well, I
is.
mean, I
Okay,
think
that's what
that's-
America is. Now,
Yeah.
when the Muslim says
Most people think I'm an asshole.
Islam is a religion of peace, he's not lying. But what we fail to understand is the definition of peace in Islam is all things Islam and everything else dead or enslaved. So I just want you guys to know, when they were like crashing those planes into the towers, they were
Right.
just being peaceful.
Well, don't they want everybody to be, if you turn your faith to Allah.
Yes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
So I don't know what
when
you
the
have-
knives come out, repeat after me.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, when
Yeah.
the knives come out, repeat after me. Allah is the one true God, and Muhammad, blessed be
Is
his
his
name,
prophet.
is his prophet.
Right.
Congratulations, you get to live.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to say.
I'd fucking say that in a heartbeat to stop a beheading.
Correct.
Pretty sure I would follow through with that as well. I'm not really that hung up with ideology or anything.
I'm the guy who was convinced
As
by
you
the
know-
time I was 50, I'd be paying for my coffee in yuan. I was
But
wrong
listen,
about that one.
If I got drafted into the military, I'd say to him straight up, look, if I get captured, I'm going to tell him anything I know, not to be tortured.
I'm going to tell you right now.
So
that,
you might not want me. I'm a pussy.
We've done the whole religion thing a lot here, and as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of fucking religions on this planet Earth, but I'm pretty sure the ones
They're all stupid.
the ones who are pretty close, I'm pretty sure that the whole Buddhism thing, man, everything's God, man.
God-
You like
We're all
that.
God, man.
Yeah, God's Buddhist. You didn't know that?
We're all God, man. You know what I mean?
God's everywhere.
I not only am guilty of studying religion, I'm guilty of teaching it.
Me
There's
too.
nothing wrong with it.
But
look, religion's a good thing for
I,
people.
I was kind of talking with you about this yesterday. There's been more archaeological and geological data uncovered and discovered since 1995 than at any point ever in history before. And, when I embraced Judaism, it was because I was looking for the root. Okay?
Judaism is the ultimate religion.
No, it is not. Judaism is not even the root. Judaism is...
my root.
It's certainly the oldest
No,
religion.
no, it's not. That's what I'm getting at.
Really?
It's
It's 5,700 years old.
it's Sumerian. It's a root of what's going on in Sumer. Okay, we've got to go even further back. And I was telling you, yeah, they discovered there were there was a mild ice age, and then there was a very quick dissolving of the ice age. The ice age, the mild ice age, started about 14,000 years ago. It because of asteroid activity, which they've proved in the geological record. The asteroid hit the ocean and caused the mild ice age. 2,000 years after that, around 12,000 years ago, another one hit, and it hit in North America, and the heat caused basically what is now captured in legend. The flood actually happened. There was a worldwide flood. They have it in the geological record. So the truth of the matter is you take that and you take the archaeological data that they found in Koltapki over near Turkey. There is a city buried in Turkey. Buried. I mean, they're unearthing it now, except that they're fighting with the Turkish government. There's an entire city that was buried. Now, they don't have a lot of it uncovered because the government's not letting them do the archaeological dig, but they've uncovered enough to know that somebody purposely buried this city. The dirt that's surrounding the architecture is not the dirt that's indigenous to that particular area, and the dating on the dirt is different than the dating on the buildings. Somebody buried the city.
It's amazing what you can get done with slaves.
Well, hang on. This is where I'm going, okay? They've already unearthed enough in the architecture, in the art of this city to marry what they found in the temples in South America, Easter Island, and what's left of the relics in Egypt.
Okay.
So I'm telling you all that to tell you this. And I'll send, I know you're somebody who likes podcasts and links. I'll send you a 2.5 hour long lecture of a guy who it's very difficult listen because it's very academic.
Right.
But at the end, holy fuck, it's all real. So this is where I'm going.
It's putting together like the Mayan shit.
It was
the
all
Egyptian
one
shit
connected culture that
Okay. I
predates
get it.
any of the history that we know.
Send that to me. I'll listen to it.
It predates any of the history that we know, and the biggest signs of it were Sumeria. Okay, what our great grandchildren are going to learn about human history is going to be so different than what we know today. But the truth of the matter is because of this flood, you talk about like Atlantis and ancient civilizations. You know where it is? It's about 10 to 20 miles that way, 300 feet down under the ocean.
It's in New Jersey?
Well, it's because of the flood. It all went under the water.
Right.
That's why it all got wiped off. But here's my thought. So I told you all that to tell you this. If I could have 1 week anywhere on planet Earth, if you said you can go anywhere you want for 1 week with an interpreter, the Vatican fucking library, because that's all fact. This is my conjecture. The reason why we have a Dark Ages is because, you know, the Catholic religion, basically, they eliminated entire civilizations. I'll bet you a folding dollar that city got buried during the Dark Ages. That city got buried.
It's not hard to believe.
They just buried it.
It's amazing
instead of destroying it.
You had a
because there's proof there was something before.
I can't even believe
Christianity.
you guys are talking about Atlantis. It's just it doesn't.
Well, it's interesting it's always been interesting to me as someone who knows fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Except cursory shit.
I'm one of those show me guys.
We
you know
had-
what I mean? Like,
I'll show you. I'll send you the link.
So we had the Roman Empire, right? And that was around for 500 years.
we've
And then we had like
established that.
1,000 years of fucking almost nothing.
Of fucking awfulness.
Just
Of
nothing.
people just being really bad to each other.
Right.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But no structure, really.
But that's what I'm
smeared on
saying.
stuff.
Can you imagine what's in the Vatican
But even
library?
the Catholic
Entire
Church
civilizations.
wasn't really. They weren't even that organized.
Yes,
I read
yes,
a book
they were.
that
Yes, they
Irish
were.
because Ireland's on an island and there was a what do the monks live in? A fucking abbey or what? The
Monastery?
Monastery.
Abbey,
The name of the book was how the Irish saved the Christian religion because they had all the texts and they were isolated from all the Huns running around. Basically, the Germans were running around killing everybody along with other folks. Hey, I'm fading out. I got to get out of here.
All right, hold on now.
Are you really done?
That's all right.
it's just-
Joe's going to tap
feel
out,
like shit,
and we're
man.
going to take a little break and regroup.
I've done as best as I can.
Joe, again, thank you for your kindness and your
no,
generousness
it's good to
yesterday.
good to get a show in, too.
Yeah, but thank you for doing the show with me and my brother.
Yeah,
we
thank
are
you
going to
for
take
coming,
a break,
Dave.
which is nice because I always like to drop a little music in. Dave and I will finish up later, but Joe, thank you again for being my best friend. Thank you for your
you're
very
welcome,
generous
buddy.
gift yesterday. I was so happy that you and the great Patty showed up for the party. I hope you got enough
We
to eat,
enjoyed
buddy. I know you like to eat, but there was a lot of food. It just wasn't.
There's always other places to eat
The
at.
food
I know.
was. The food was.
I ate about 50 of those fucking pierogi things.
Oh, I like those. Were made from scratch. By the way,
Those were really good.
The dough and everything. Those were made from straight scratch.
They were good. I ate a lot of them.
I ate a lot of them too, and there weren't that many of them left over. Not enough for us to get some because all the Polish people took them home.
Right.
I don't know if you know, but Kat's half Polish and I'm a quarter Polish, so it was kind of cool that there
I am
were
aware that
pierogies
you are
there.
a quarter Polish.
Well, yeah, we all are.
Being brothers and all.
So, Joe, drink some water, please.
I'm going up,
And
getting my skivvies. I'm
you
gonna
know
watch
that
television and
Dayquil
guzzle
you're downing
Dayquil.
is acetaminophen, not ibuprofen, by the way.
Well, I had one beer
It's all right.
and a couple of Fireballs.
Just
I think
get it
I'm
in
good.
you.
Last night, the food was great.
Yeah.
The music was terrific, but the company was
Wow.
fabulous.
We're going to get into that next. Okay, we're going to take a
I'm
break.
going to leave it with this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christine Blasey Ford's a lion cunt.
All right. Joe, I'll see you Tuesday. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
This karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you right on the head. You better get yourself together. Pretty soon you're gonna be dead. What in the world you thinking now? Laughing in the face of love. What on earth you trying to do? It's up to you. Yeah, you. This karma's gonna get you. Gonna look you right in the face. Better get yourself together, darling. Join the human race. How in the world you gonna see? Laughing at fools like me. Who on earth do you think you are? A superstar? Well, right you are. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Where we all shine on. Everyone, come on. This karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you off your feet. Better recognize your brothers. Everyone you meet. Why in the world are we here? Surely not to live in pain and fear. Why on earth are you there? When you're everywhere, come and get your share. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Yeah, we all shine on. Come on and on and on. Yeah, yeah. All right. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Yeah, we all shine on. On and on and on and on. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Where we all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun.
And we're back. Joe is a little under the weather, and he did an hour and 15, and I'm grateful for that. So we've had instances before, as you know, as a listener. Dave, by the way, my brother Dave is here, our number one fan, and he was in town for a family event, which we're going to get into that at the end of, I got more business, and then we're going to revisit last night.
Certainly.
Okay? So Joe really went above and beyond today. And what do you think? What do you think of the whole thing we got going on here? Is it anything that I know that you saw a couple pictures, but hey, this is the studio, not bad, right?
Well, as you know, I already
Close that door, by the way.
Pardon me.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. Yeah. There you go.
As you know,
Yeah.
there's already at least 13 or 14 T-shirts in the
making.
in the Kinda Right merch shop that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That I base on and around.
We're
this
not
is
ready
fun.
for merch, man.
I know. I'm just saying
Not
when
ready
the
for
day
merch.
comes,
We're
when the day
not ready for merch players.
when the day comes, we are
Yeah.
going to have a group of people who are going to be in on the joke, and they're going to have some lovely outerwear. But if I was going to say, based on the fact that when I saw Joe for the first time in 11 years yesterday,
Really? Was that long?
I said, we don't really need to catch up because I know you and I know everything about you.
Well,
So,
now you do.
but if I was going to pick the slogan for this podcast,
Yeah.
it would be dangerously real.
Like I said, man, you look at what it says on the home page. It says 2 friends, 2 microphones, a lot of opinions. That's it.
Well, the fact of the matter is what you're doing is real and it's genuine.
Yeah. Joe believes in this, by the way. He believes that if I stick with it, that something's going to happen in a couple years. And we're putting the work in.
I believed in it from the start, and like I said, I mean, I feel like I forced my way into your sandbox, but from the day
You didn't
it
force
started,
your way in at all. This is organic, man.
By the way, I thought that
There's no forcing.
I thought that you would have ended that first session and we would have just cut a separate second show, but you're just going to
No.
cut this in. You're just going to put this in as a long cast.
Yeah, no. I don't do that, man. This is show 79, man.
Dangerously real.
Yeah.
Kind of right. Occasionally right.
As you know, he tapped out one night because he shit himself, and I was in here with Gabby. And it turned into a fucking 2.5 hour show.
Oh, yeah.
And the 2 shows that we did with the old man did 50 and 51 and like 53 with us, and there was a 3 hour, a 2.5, and a 2.5. And then he ran into trouble up at the fucking homestead because he was rolling in fucking hammered after the show.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
they're
I
like,
was
you
going to
can't
ask you.
let him get hammered. And I'm like, I'm not. He's
He's an
he's
adult.
a grown man.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I was
He can do what he
actually
wants.
I was going to ask you because I remember talking with Dad and telling him.
I want him here more, but he doesn't want to deal. That's what's good about Dad, and I got that from him. He's like, whatever I got to do to keep the peace, man. Keep the peace, man.
I get it.
And happy wife, happy life.
No, he did
and
that to
Mom's
himself.
cool. We love Mom. Like I love Mom.
Yeah, but we're all not kids anymore.
Yeah.
For me, the thing about it was because I've communicated.
Well, now
with
he
him.
has 2 moms, by the way. Our
I-
sister is his
all right,
other
well,
mom.
Hang on, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But for me, I remember.
And by the way, Leanne, I love you. You're amazing. You are an amazing woman. You're an amazing woman.
I communicated with him because, at doing broadcasting, I listened to the show, but I not only enjoyed for the content, but, you and I have talked all the time about sort of like the vocabulary of communicating, in the on-air area. I've told Dad he is fantastic because you can hear him listening to the two of you.
Dad is amazing. By the way, you are amazing on the air as well. Dad is. I knew you would be fine. Dad.
He's spectacular.
He is literally spectacular. I gave him the same pep talk to you about the actual physical mechanics of doing this.
Fareed Zakaria.
I gave Dad the same pep talk that I gave you.
Yeah, and he went.
And he went, and he wears the headphones too. And he even did a show. I think there was pictures of it. This is going to be the best podcast yet. But the second best one was the one where him and Evan were here. It was amazing. It was amazing. And
Yeah, I think
Dad,
that was the one where you were asking Evan's buddy if he's ever been knuckle deep in a dog's ass.
No.
That was classic radio.
No. That was the first show that Evan did, and it
Knuckle
wasn't his buddy. It was just
deep in a dog's ass.
Joe presented a hypothetical to Evan. He was here by himself.
Did you ever fuck a dog? I remember.
No, he didn't ask him if he fucked a dog. He said if his friend fucked a dog, would you hold it against him?
Right.
That was what it was. He's like,
that's on a T-shirt.
and Evan, give him credit. He's like, I mean, what's the circumstances? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, is it just like one time, or is it like a thing for this guy?
Just,
you know,
no.
is it something he tweets about?
It was probably an unfair question for a 17-year-old at the time.
Oh, I don't think so. It's perfectly legitimate.
Nah, he did well. So, by the way, you were there yesterday, and you got to look him in his face. He was fine.
He's more than fine. He's excellent.
He's also a rock star. He happens to be a rock star.
He's a superstar.
And without... He wants to write, by the way. So he and I he wants to do an original... what he wants and what I want, and we're probably going to make it happen, but we don't have that much time. Like, there's only so much time. So this project that we got that you saw yesterday...
Extraordinary.
Is magnificent.
Extraordinary.
And the dude hosts us at his house. Whatever Sunday we fucking deign to be there. He's like, Sundays are for you guys. And if we don't show up, he doesn't have another jam.
Hey, Dave, I know you're listening.
Yeah. Dave listens.
Dave, listen
intently.
to me. You are a spectacular musician.
Not just a spectacular musician.
And you are a spectacular human being.
Yeah.
I could see
He's
how much...
the best.
I could see how much pleasure...
Yeah.
I could see it in your hands. I could see it in
By
your
the way,
face.
did you notice he directs the band?
Yes, and I'm telling you...
Until the end of the song, and then who gets us out?
You do.
This guy.
But I'm telling you right now, Scott Jesse is human glue, and what a pleasure it must be for you, Dave, to be able to take off and soar, knowing that it's going to be exactly where it's supposed to be when you come back down. Thank you, all four of you, for letting me, tromp around the stage.
My landlord was the guy with the purple shirt and the baseball hat, by the way. That's my landlord.
I kept going because he wanted to come up to.
He loved it. I couldn't believe it. I was like stoked. I was like, holy shit, cool.
So
Brad's into it.
I want you guys to know.
I saw them today, by the way.
On another Earth,
morning.
in another dimension, I never left. But after last night, I'm really okay because that's Evan's spot.
So, by the way, my favorite music moments from last night, other than the second set was great, but
Ohio.
We rushed Ohio. We actually sound checked Ohio, and it was better when we sound checked it. Dave was like, Al, what are you in a rush? You know what I mean? We did Ohio really fast, but my favorite set one, and that's why I ended it. By the way, thought went into what songs we played at what time.
Well, sure.
And I'd made the sets, and we practiced the program based on my direction. I'm the leader of the band. I do not, as you noticed, I sing lead on one song and backups on, a third of them? Sure. 25%, third. I don't do a lot of singing. Evan does front vocals on one song and backgrounds on one. And then other than that, the meat of the vocals is Scott and Dave.
And they both have fantastic voices,
Never
gentlemen.
mind fantastic voices, but like sentiment's not the word. I forget what the word is, but
soul.
Yeah, they got a lot of
they
soul.
Got soul. Scott Jesse is a soulful woman.
That being said,
and I would totally bang her.
My favorite musical moment was the Black Sabbath thing we did for we did a Black Sabbath medley, the second piece into the second set. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah,
all right.
It was captivating.
That by the way is 100% note for note constructed and arranged.
Okay.
There's no improvisation there.
It was the second song of the second set.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something right now.
That is fucking arranged to the beat and the note.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell you about.
And then I'll tell you my second favorite.
I'm gonna tell you about the last 35 years.
Good.
During that song, look at me.
Go ahead. I'm looking.
During that song, I sat at the table.
Yeah. I watched you.
And I watched
saw you.
play. I
Okay.
was watching you.
Oh, in the Sabbath thing?
Yes.
Well, that's
I
all
was
me.
watching you. But understand me when I tell you.
Yeah. That segment is all me.
I get it. I'm so glad you took the goddamn sunglasses off so I could
I
watch
took it
you.
off. I put them on because I was crying.
Okay, well, I want you to understand something. That's you. I was sitting in the chair, and I was watching you
Oh,
play.
the Sabbath shit?
And I was watching every movement of your eyes, of your head, how at the same time you were checking the monitors, watching your guys, and you were also in that place. You were in that fucking place.
Yeah.
And all this shit around us and everything we do in the last 35 years of our lives,
Yeah.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
You get behind that fucking kit and nothing else matters on the planet.
Yeah.
And I know we're all older and I know it's a lot of years later, but I get it, man. That was you. And it was magical.
How'd you like Down by the River?
It was insane. The whole thing was, I couldn't help myself. I'm like, I'm going to come up here and shit all over this set because I can't sit in this chair anymore.
Yeah.
It was exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, what a thrill it must be to be able to play with your kid. It's just good on you, man. Good on you. I get it. I've never seen you play better.
I've never played better.
I've never heard a better mix. And all the bullshit, all the family stuff, all the work, all the getting older, it just all goes away when you sit and you play that kit, man. I get it. I just wanted to let you know that.
By the way, you never see me play that. That's my kit for the last 6 or 7 years. But I have it's a 9-piece kit, and I can play it in different configurations. I set it up as a Bonham kit.
I was going to say,
But
I mean, it's
with
the same setup, though, that you
undersized shells, though, because
Right,
I
right,
used
right.
to have
the giant
a
shells.
14 and a 16 fucking high toms.
Yeah, yeah.
I had an 18-inch fucking. So now I got regular 14-inch. I had a backup snare. I used to love the mahogany snares, and I had a collection of snares. I've sold them off.
Right.
But my main snare now is a chrome snare that Fran found for me at the Duxbury Town dump. Somebody threw out a Yamaha chrome something. He's like, "Do you think you can use this?" I'm
No,
like, and I refurbished it. That's my main fucking snare.
Really smart move on your stick choice as well, because the drum sound was super snappy.
Yeah, no,
it never took over.
Yeah,
it was just right where it needed to be.
I play the ProMark Thunder rods, which are like 6 or 7 dowels stuck together.
Right, which was fine.
And I
it muted
initially
itself.
started playing those because volume-wise they're less, but also I had a bout with arthritis 5 or 6 years ago where I couldn't clamp all the way down on I was starting to play really big sticks and they were too loud.
Right.
So now these are even bigger, and because of my arthritis, they're easier to hold. You know, it's like a little kid with big crayons or whatever.
Well, it was a perfect combination because
I don't play regular sticks at all.
Yeah, but my
That's what I
biggest
play.
concern in that long narrow room was
Even
that
with
was that the kid
inappropriate
was gonna-
behavior, which is a fucking oldie / fucking punk. That's a weird band. Initially, the music program was supposed to be a set by Inappropriate Behavior, a set by Mad Randy, and then I was going to open it up as a jam. But Gene, the front man of Inappropriate Behavior, he had a family wedding to do.
Okay.
So that was out. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Because I was going to invite Sav and Ed and all the guys, from Edgemere
Sure.
and open it up to a huge jam. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that.
No.
We're going to do 2 sets. This is going to be Mad Randy. So by the way, you know why we're called Mad Randy?
Because Evan is.
No,
Mad
he's Randy. But Dave, the guitar
Dave.
player, he was in a band called Bad Andy.
Oh, so we became Mad Randy.
But that wasn't his doing. It was my doing.
I think it's
because he's got
it's great.
posters in the practice room, Bad Andy. And I'm like, they started calling Evan Randy because Evan reminded Dave of like some kid named Randy. So I'm like, Randy, Andy, Bad Andy, Mad Randy. We're Mad Randy. We're Mad Randy. That's the
It's
name of the
perfect.
band. Not
It's
a
perfect.
bad name, right?
It's
for that
perfect.
particular band.
Though I would say that people would make the mistake and think that Scott Jesse is in fact Mad Randy. because.
Oh, well, Scott Jesse's the front man.
But he's so good. Scott, you are human glue. You are human glue.
Well, no, he's the front man of the band.
You are the man.
But here's the thing.
In case I haven't made it clear. No, but all four of you.
No, but here, listen. Scott is the front man. Dave is the orchestra leader.
Correct.
And I am
head.
the executive.
The producer.
I make the final decision based on what those guys need.
And Evan
is the star of the show.
Evan's pretty.
He's the star of the show.
Yep.
And I'm thinking it's working out.
Well, just like I said, when pieces of paper start to appear,
well,
please allow me to read all of them before anybody signs
I've
anything.
actually been involved with a couple of his projects with his peers, where I
produce.
No, I produced, but I also played drums for them at a couple things. And they were and I was just like, I walk off after they're done, and they go out, and they get the applause, and I'm a fucking hired hand for the night.
Sure.
I'm not in the band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was hoping to work them along, but the problem is the people that he wants to do projects with who are his age, they're not as with it with him. They're as talented or almost, but they're not willing to put the work.
They don't have the drive.
If they had the drive, I would help them along. I would do it. I would put in the work for them.
Right.
But so what we're going to do now is Evan is 18. He can work in a bar now. We're going to get bar gigs.
You really should.
That's it. Just bar gigs.
Because
we're all old men. We're not looking to fucking be stars, but we want to make $100 a night playing guitar.
You everything was perfectly tight, but the other thing I had to get out was that the mix of doing everything from right now today music back to the Beatles. I mean, you did a bang-a-ray job on the Led Zeppelin. You played Pink Floyd. I was a
we
mess.
can do more Pink Floyd, by the way.
That's what
they want to do. I'm like, we can do way more than this.
It was.
We did Time for a while, which we did with Edgemere, me and you.
Oh yeah.
So, by the way, whoever's listening, Dave is also a great musician, and he's put it down, and that's fine. No, that's fine. He put it down. Dave,
I chose the other path.
That's
I chose
fine.
The path
he put it away
taken.
in 7 years already. It's been 8 years. No, 7 years. I put the band back together from college, and we had a reunion. And if Dave didn't come, it couldn't have happened. And Dave nailed it the fuck down. Dave knows how to play, but as a player, right? You got to admit, the kid is. He's a really great player, right?
I hope this doesn't come off selfishly, but it's a little cathartic for me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, in another alternate universe, I never left. But
by the way, he doesn't play dissimilarly from you at all.
Of course
he plays pretty similarly to.
Of course he does.
Sentiment, I keep using the word sentiment. It's wrong, but there's something about he gets it, and you and I at that show, and then even before, but. You don't have to look at each other. You know where each other's at.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the same thing with Evan. Like I'm
Correct.
never ever worried about where he is. Once in a while, like there was a little while he had that dark period with all the other shit in his life. It entered into his playing, and he would go away for a little while. Like not even like go away music. He would stop playing, and he'd be looking around, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
But that's what I was getting at, which was, and again, and I hope this doesn't come off selfishly, but I was standing there, and I saw it, and I heard it, and it's not something that you could put into words.
Yeah.
But for the first time.
Sensibility, that's the word. Sensibility. He has the same sensibility as you.
For the first time.
When he deals with me.
For the first time. Because every time I come back, it's the same thing. I have to deal with the fact that I left. I mean, I have no regrets. But
it's not a big deal,
I know,
Dave.
but let me finish the sentence. Yeah. The sentence is, I stood and I saw the two of you play.
Yeah, that's what it was all about.
And it was okay. Because the hardest thing for me to walk away from when I chose Vanessa was the music.
No.
You don't think I don't think about that all the time?
Yesterday was the first time that we've played together in 3 months that I did not break down sobbing at some point. Somehow I made it through it. Oh, well, We were supposed to do Simple Man by Leonard Skinner, and that one kills me because that's about mothers and sons.
Sure.
And then we didn't play that, and there was something else we didn't play. So there was 2 trigger songs for me. Oh, no, that Guitar Man by Bread.
Yeah.
The only reason why that kills me is that the music itself wells up inside you while you're playing it. It literally wells up the sentiment of the song.
So believe me when I tell you, and again, there's no guilt, there's no regret, because after 25 years of being gone,
why would there be?
But I mean, if I never made that clear to you, that was the only thing that was such a dramatic time in my life.
Yeah.
I thought I would never ever stop playing music.
Sure.
I woke up one day, and everybody was
Nobody's
gone.
quit more than me, man.
I know, but I woke up one day and everybody was gone. It was only after it was
I
gone
know.
that the girl came into my life. Now I'm
You
not
got to
saying
make it happen, though.
I know, but last night was a great moment for me because
Ah.
I was able to just turn the page. It's good.
Yeah. It's all
good.
And like I said, I wish Old Spec was there, and I wish
So Steve Peck,
I wish
I
that
love you, man. I love you. I drove your probe from
Oh, my
St.
God.
Peter's to the reception. You
Right.
gave me that responsibility. I love you, man. You have a beautiful family. And your wife is still as beautiful as the day I knew her when I was in high
dealing
school.
with limited seating there last night, right? Granted, a lot of people didn't show up. Well, not a lot, but like 10 people didn't show up, and that is 10%. I had to work with 100 persons. I could not invite everybody. I wanted to invite Sav and Bonnie and Ed and Sandy, but I couldn't. That would have been nice.
It was a good room. You
But
did good.
here's the other thing. Tony and Cindy were there, and I could not invite Tom and his family and Dan. I just didn't have room. I get a text. This is the one text that I was worried about. And I got to give him credit because...
Did Fusco bust your balls?
Oh, my God, he busted my crank. Listen, hold on.
While you're getting that, by the way,
Yeah. Tom, whose wife is a multimillionaire marketer, and he is a fucking
college professor,
vested fucking college, tenured. Hey, this is what I got from him at 11:09 this morning. Hey, asshole, you had a party and forgot me? Oh well, congrats on you and Kat. Half hour later, congrats to you and Kat. And then I just responded, thanks, cuz. Talk soon. Because I don't know what to say. It's like, literally, I wanted Tom to be there, but that was the cutting point. I had 100 people to work with, and he's out of town. He's out of town. If he lived in Situate still, I would have figured Rahway, New Jersey.
Yeah. Now, Tom, if you're listening,
he would have come. He would have come.
You think he would have come?
But I couldn't take the chance that he wouldn't have come.
And missed another spot.
And missed someone else who's local. It was weird. It was the cutoff, and I wanted him to be there. You know what I mean?
News flash.
So that's weird, you know?
News flash.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Sure.
You don't know it yet?
Yeah.
There's going to be another Edgemere reunion.
Well, I'm not putting it together.
You can come to that. Yes, you are.
No, yes. I'll be there. I'm not
No,
putting it together.
yes, you are.
I'm not able to.
It's going to happen.
Where?
I don't know. I don't know where and I don't know when, but it's going to happen.
If it was going to happen, it would have happened 2 years ago.
It's probably going to happen somewhere in about the next 5 or 6.
It's not happening.
The only way it's not going to happen is if you die.
Peter Miles won't come.
Yes, he will.
Nah, Miles ain't coming, and Sam might not come.
Yes, he will.
So how is
Going to
that gonna be a
happen.
reunion? It'll be
Because-
you and Steve.
Because we're not going to play.
Ed.
We're not going to play. We're just going to all get together. We're going to have a meal. We're going to have some drinks, and then we're all going to disappear for another 10 years.
Where and when?
I don't know, but it's going to happen.
I don't have the energy or the foresight
It's
to make that
gonna
happen. You're
happen.
going to have to make that happen.
Okay,
Who's going to make that happen?
all right.
I can't make it happen.
We'll see what happens. If I have the financial wherewithal, maybe everybody will get an email with a plane ticket
How
attached to it.
sick would it be to do it in Nashville?
That's what I'm saying.
in
Maybe I'll have
in
to
a
make it
dive
happen.
bar.
Yeah.
In a dive bar on a Saturday afternoon. Now make that happen. I'm
Yeah.
there.
All right. Well,
That's fucking key.
okay.
You
But
must know people.
just
Listen,
so you know, it's going to happen.
we're gonna come and play here on a Sunday
no, we're
morning.
not going to play. We're just going to all be in the same
No,
room.
I
want
want to play. I'm not.
Of course you wanna
I'm
play.
disinterested in hanging out with them. I want to make music with them. You know what I mean?
I think I need to be a front man. I think I need to just
You could do that.
sing. I need to learn how to play harmonica really well.
Fuck harmonica, by the way. Harmonica sucks, and Magic Dick's a dickhead.
Maybe I should just learn how to shake a tambourine. Triangle. I'll bring back triangle. I'll be all, yeah, 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 yeah. Ding. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know what to say. So, did you get to eat last night?
I first of all, the Italian meats and the cheeses, delicious, very nice,
I got a lot of them left over.
delicious. But here's the
I'm
thing.
gonna have a lot of Capicola subs coming up.
That's what I
watching
had
my-
for breakfast, man.
I'm watching my weight.
I found a nice Roma tomato in Paul's
Dude, I
cabinet.
went out and bought breakfast this
Little
morning. I went to get
mayo,
my
little
pills.
tomato, little of that capicola. Ooh.
Dude, I went out and got bagels, 4 types of cream cheese, and fucking salmon and onion and fucking Bloody Marys.
Mm-hmm.
That was a happy fucking house when they woke up.
Okay, you asked me about the food last night. Now,
Yeah.
forgive me. I mean, I can count the number of times I've been home in the last 10 years on one hand.
Sure.
So I was obligated. Well, I wanted to take Paul and Lisa and the boys out for lunch.
Okay, go
Because
ahead.
he was kind. Thank you, Paul. He was kind enough to let me crash for a couple.
Yeah, sure.
Adam gave me his bed.
So you had a
he didn't have
lobster.
to do that.
Oh, really?
Adam let me sleep in his bed.
So where did he
He
sleep?
slept on a mattress.
You will first need to tap the notification. Then you can let headsets work.
Siri, pay my mortgage.
Right, good. Jesus Christ, that was weird. All right, you can't. This is not even Siri. It's my wacky phone.
Okay. So anyway, so
Sorry, I
kinda-
said the C word.
I kind of wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So we ended up down at Tavern on the Waff.
That's where all our people are today having brunch.
I had to eat a lobster roll. So of course I get up yesterday morning and Paul has bacon and eggs and waffles and the whole 9 yards.
Yesterday?
So we eat breakfast at 10 o'clock in the morning and then we go to lunch for 1.
Fuck it.
I'm not even hungry.
Yeah.
So we went home and I passed out into a deep syrupy sleep for 2.5 hours
Fucking
before the party.
diabetic torpor is what that's called.
So which was nice because the traveling sometimes will kill me. So I got to the party and first of all, I admittedly I was a little anxious.
Right.
And I was also really cold.
Oh, really?
Oh, I was freezing. I'm freezing right now. I've been freezing
I
since
know,
I got
man.
here.
I'm sorry.
I live in fucking Nashville. Anyway,
I run warm, dude.
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But what I'm getting at is I had to have a couple of beers.
Custom air control here in the
I
studio.
love it. Yeah, it's crazy. Joe is so good with the toys. I love it. It's always he's a toy guy. But anyway, no, I was I had to have a couple of drinks to get my appetite back. And the meat and cheese on every table was always there to pick. So that was a really smart move. But then the tortellini was to die for.
Tortellini tomato soup. That's from Panera.
That was terrific.
Panera.
And the pierogi were nice. They were very nice.
Oh, those were 100% from scratch, by the way.
I
100%,
heard.
even the shell, everything.
Yeah.
She
So-
made that dough from scratch.
Beautiful.
And the beef and the cabbage, they were That's Polish, by the way. Kat is also Polish.
And I lived 3 years in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I know my wife makes killer pierogies.
Those pierogies
My
were
wife
perfect.
will make pierogies and will make kielbasi and sauerkraut.
They were
Forget about
perfect.
it. Yeah,
Thank
they
you,
were
Jan.
wonderful. They
Thank
were
you,
delicious.
Jan.
The only thing I didn't get any of, but I'm going to have some later today when I'm
ahead.
visiting with family, is the wedding soup.
Amazing.
It looked beautiful,
Amaze
but I never
balls.
got to it.
Again,
it looked
Panera.
gorgeous. Thank you, Panera.
We were going to make all that shit, but Kat
No.
got wind somehow. Originally, we were going to make it, and we were budgeted for it, but she got wind that the wholesale distributor in Warren, Rhode Island, for Panera, had a sale Saturday, and they did the
move,
work.
pal. Smart move.
She left the house at 6. She was there at 7. She was 12th in line.
Very good.
They were open at 8. You know what I mean? She got there an hour early, and she was 12th in line.
Well, I'm telling you
And
what.
there was enough left of what she wanted to make it happen.
There was plenty.
And all they had to do was heat it up.
There was plenty of everything.
Yeah.
Everything was delicious. Like I
Dude.
said, I mean, it couldn't have got any better,
Dude,
pal.
those 2 soups, the cauliflower soup they made, I don't know what it cost, but those 2 soups, the tortellini, tomato, and the wedding, we spent $10 on one of them and 60 on
Stop it.
$70 total
Stop it. No way.
for 90 servings of each of it.
Stop it. You couldn't have made it scratch.
Yeah,
You couldn't have.
It would it was more cost effective to buy it.
I was looking for a loaf of crusty bread. I just wanted to dip.
There
it in
was
that tortellini
bread,
soup.
by the way, and they forgot to put it out. I can't believe it.
It wasn't missed. It's fine.
No, it's fine. They put it out. It ended up going to the chickens at her
No, it didn't go
at
to
her
waste.
brother-in-law's house.
It didn't go to
They
waste.
actually had bread, and they forgot, and that's fine. There was a lot of food.
No, there was plenty of food. It was a great room.
Mom and Dad bought the stuffed mushrooms and the spinach squares. Her mom brought like 3 crock pots of fucking kielbasa, which went.
Oh, I never even got a bite of that. I never even saw it.
It was, the sweet and sour kielbasa with the.
Oh no, I did
fucking-
see it with the sauce. I did see it. I
and the
didn't go in there.
pineapple and all that.
Yeah. That's fun.
And then we had the big salad. There was plenty of food. It
It
went off well.
How was your cake?
It was a really good cake. The cake thing is funny. We had a tasting. Konditormeister in Braintree, all right?
How fun. How fun.
Konditor
That
and
must have been
Meister.
fun.
We actually had a tasting. Her sister insisted we were going to have a friend make it who does that shit, and they were going to try to make we gave her a budget of $300. Erica said, for $300, I'll get you a cake and individual cupcakes.
That was the right
for
way to
100
do
people.
it. No, dude, that's really the smart way
So we went
to do
up
it.
there.
That was the smart
There
way
was
to
a
do it.
tasting that was included in the whole thing. Literally 16 slices of cake. And we're not talking about little pieces of cake. Now, I'm not a cake guy anyway. I don't eat cake, as you know. When there's a birthday, I don't eat it, all right? It's just my thing. Fucking, they brought 16 slices of cake. I don't eat cake, and those 2 girls are watching their weight. We fucking laid waste to fucking 16 full slices of cake.
And I bet they were all wonderful.
So as you know, we had our cake was chocolate raspberry. We had lemon something cake, cupcake, chocolate something, and fucking red velvet. All right, fucking white trash style.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's the way to do it because
Yeah,
everybody
had
can choose
a-
what they want.
yeah,
and
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
can have. That's the best way to do it.
It went so well.
It was. I'm telling you, man. And I hope.
The way that everything looked in that,
the
way that everything looked, I literally had nothing to do with that. Charlene, hold on. Hello? Oh, it's Dad. What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, the host nor the program are giving legal,
that
financial, or
again?
accounting advice. Since you, yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, Dave's with me.
You're still over Joe's?
Yes, we are.
We're currently broadcasting. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. What's up?
Well, I was going to say, when you're through with the broadcast, when you're on the way over to Paul's or whatever,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if Dave stopped by. He could at least see what we did, the work we did last year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was a big
Okay.
project.
We'll,
yeah,
we'll,
Dad,
we'll be there somewhere between 3 and 4. We got to be at Paul's for 4. We'll see you.
We're wrapping this up. You know what? We'll wrap this up in the next half hour. We'll see you in about 40 minutes, all right?
No problem.
All right. Bye.
No, we won't. We're going at 2:30.
That's 40 minutes from now. Oh, it's only 15 minutes from now.
Wait a minute. What time is it?
It's 2:15. Oh, you're on other time.
Excuse me. I'm
Yeah.
on Central Time. All right. Well, we got to be done by 3.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the fact that last night could not have gone any better,
It was perfect.
and I hope I gave you what you were looking for
For what?
when we did the cake.
Oh, yeah, no. Perfect.
That's what you wanted. So
yeah, perfect.
But it was very nice. The person I was most hoping would have the best time was your wife.
Oh, man. She was not only
And-
the focus of the party, she was the life of the party.
She's a spectacular person.
She parties like a and that's my
because-
last name, everybody. Al 43 Main Street, apartment 2, Kingston, Massachusetts, 02364. You want to talk to me in person? That's where you'll find me. Go ahead.
My last name's Abramowitz, and I live in Cleveland. No, she it's because she is, and she's She's very, very. She's an excellent person, and I'm very
Yeah.
I'm very.
She's been through some
pleased.
shit, man.
Well, we all have, and I'm very pleased. For
She's
the
been
two of
through
you.
a lot of shit.
Well, remember what I said. At the end of the day, none of that matters. The only thing that matters
It does matter.
is you can sit next to each other on
Yeah.
the sofa and say
be nice.
nothing and just be kind to each other.
We
It's
do a lot of
wonderful.
that, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, we all do.
When we can. It's been a fucking crazy couple months,
yeah,
you know?
you even talked about it here, and I want
Yeah.
to tell you I agree. People say, "Oh, well, all I ever do is work, and then I come home and we don't do anything." That's
No,
the goal.
it's not. Yeah, well,
Goal
no,
is to
that's what I
be
want.
in your house,
Dude.
eating your food, drinking your own liquor, enjoying your own dogs.
I have
and your own lady.
I
That's
literally
it.
have no downtime. I have no downtime. And that's fine. That's good. Because it keeps me out of trouble.
Well, there, that's good. No,
You know what I mean?
We had a horribly rainy day back home last Sunday.
Yeah.
And honest to God, me and Vanessa, we just sat and we read and we had a nice breakfast and a nice lunch. We did nothing, and it was wonderful. We both looked at each other because we were both feeling a little bit guilty about it around 2:00 in the afternoon. And she looked at me and I looked at her, and she went, "This is
Yeah.
really nice." I said, "Yeah, it really is."
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the whole thing. 25 years. I've been with my wife for 25 years.
Good for you, man.
25 years in August.
I was with my ex for 28 years, man.
And I just, the thing that never goes away. It's like you
This
wake up.
fucking microphone smells like pickles.
Well, it's because
Go ahead.
you
I'm
smell like
pickled.
pickles.
I'm pickled.
There you go. So we're okay. No, I'm just telling you, it's funny. I get to come home, I get to visit, and yeah, I get to jump on a plane and compartmentalize it and go back to my own little planet. But
It's nice.
Steve Peck looked at me. We were sitting at the table.
Oh,
and
Steve Peck is a great
He
human
looked at me and he
being.
went. He said, "Isn't this
Great
crazy?"
man. He's a great man.
He says, "I haven't seen you. I've seen you twice in the last 10 years. And we could sit down right here, and it's like
It never fucking...
yeah, it's like 30 years just vanishes." And I said, "Man, that's
That's what it's all about.
what it's about, man.
And
the way
that's-
it works."
My sentiment about the people who I could not invite, it's the same thing. Like, Glenn, I didn't invite Glenn. There wasn't room. You know what I mean? I couldn't invite Tom.
I'm
She
sure-
has
no,
a family too.
Nobody minds, and everybody understands.
I had to. That we were half and half. She invited half of the people, and I did.
Nobody.
I was
minds.
dealing with 100-person limit. I'm afraid Tom minds.
Then you
I
know
hope
what you
he
do.
doesn't,
Then you know what you
man.
do. You write him a letter. You handwrite a letter.
I don't
you
want to
say-
write him a letter. I want to drive to New Jersey and talk to him.
Get in the car and drive to New
That's what I
Jersey.
want to do. I'm like, listen, for Christ's sake, you're fucking busy. Your wife is a fucking world-renowned fucking marketer. By the way, you know that, right?
No, I was no.
His wife is not just an earner. She is a speaker in demand.
That's fantastic.
Amazing. I'm talking, I gotta guess, she's a $5 to $10 million a year girl.
God bless her.
Yeah.
That
And
must be
he's
wonderful.
got his
Tenureship.
tenureship. He's probably a good, $150,000 a year guy.
God bless them.
They're doing
That's
good.
terrific. And
You
I'm,
should see the fucking house they live in.
well,
You know what I mean?
That's wonderful.
Awesome. Awesome. It's just, you can't invite everybody.
Yeah, don't give it another thought, man. It's fine.
It's just his text. I'm like, fuck. That was actually the only text I was dreading, and I got it. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck.
He's probably giggling.
No, he's not giggling. He's pissed because he knew that he knows his parents called him and went, oh my God, the fucking music was ridiculous. You know what I mean?
You think they said that to him?
Absolutely.
Really?
Why wouldn't they say anything else? Nobody there thought the music was bad.
Oh, the music.
You
was
either
astounding.
thought it was passable or fucking ridiculously awesome.
No.
Nobody there thought we sucked.
It was nowhere near passable.
There was nobody there who could have at all said, "Wow, man,
no,
those
I
guys
was-
suck."
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Yeah.
The mix, the song choices, the talent, the precision.
Yeah,
I was
precision.
shocked. I
Highly, and by the way,
was able to let
even
the
the
last 25 years
yeah,
go.
yeah, even the improvisational numbers,
Even
as
the-
much as
even
it's
the drunken, even the drunken assholes jumping up on stage and
I'm
ruining
talking
the melodies.
about we got like 3 or 4 of them where it's an open improvisation, and then
Would have never noticed. Every note sounded well rehearsed.
Either Dave and I run it, and
Nope.
you wouldn't even notice. A lot of that, there's 4 or 5 numbers in there, the longer ones, and Down by the River was one of them. I don't got. Actually really wish I had the song list in front of me. Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
No, you honestly, everything was so well produced
Yeah.
that nothing.
Well, that's the
nothing,
thing. That's
nothing-
what I am. I'm
Yeah.
the producer.
You're the producer.
Those guys are the front men. Well, Dave's the orchestra leader, and Scott is the front man. But I'm
You are the
producer.
producer.
I produce everything we do.
And Evan's
You know-
just pretty.
Well, he's not just pretty.
He's a superstar.
He's not just pretty.
He's a superstar.
He is.
He's Mad Randy.
Well, he is Mad Randy, but he's also.
There was nothing nothing that even smacked of circumstance. The entire thing was as close. It was as close to flawless. It's the best I ever heard you play. It's just
Well,
stupid.
I mean, that's the
there's
other
nothing
thing.
else to say.
I play more now than you ever even knew me playing.
Well, sure.
I play a lot. I mean, it's 35 years of work, man.
Well, it all came out last night.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Suzanne Malveaux.
Oh shit! Am I ever gonna find this fucking list, man?
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, I only sang lead on one song. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did.
Which song was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Orange Crush by REM.
No, that's right, because I invited myself
And I
up
didn't
onto the
even.
stage.
I wanted to do an REM song, and I didn't pick it. Dave played the riff from it, and I went, "Oh, we're gonna do that because I'm pretty sure that's the one song I can." I have a problem with lyric recall.
Oh, there's a
'Cause
shocker.
We also do "Turn the Page" by Bob Seger.
Sure.
And I was supposed to sing it. We fucking no one else wants to sing it, and I can't sing it, so we let that go. And then I was also singing "Simple Man" by Leonard Skinner.
But you weren't going to get through it last night.
No. I passed it off to Dave because I was unable to remember the lyrics. So he sings it. But that is the one song that I fucking bawl like a bitch. That one and Guitar Man. Those two songs, like Scott balls like a bitch during that. I bawl like a bitch during
That's
Simple Man.
what the music is supposed to
Right.
do to you.
It's about...
I'm going to tell you something. I listen to very little music, and I haven't for about 10, 15 years. You know why?
Oh, man, we listen to a lot of
You know
music
why?
over here, man.
You know why?
Why?
I can't, because it destroys me.
Yeah, it makes you crazy.
I can't
It's
do
like
it.
me watching poker tournaments. It drives me fucking
No.
nuts.
I emotionally, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And when I walked away from music, like doing it, that very visceral thing that happens, like I was telling you about,
Right.
that very kinetic thing that happens in your person. I listen to a lot of radio, but I listen to a lot of talk radio. I listen to documentaries. I listen to podcasts.
Right.
I don't listen to music very often because I can't.
Why?
Because it destroys me.
Makes you crazy.
No, it makes me very sad.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in a
That
bad way.
No,
It just-
I know. By the way, if it makes you sad, that's not a bad response.
No, I don't mean sad in terms of being sad, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll listen to Skating Away by Jethro Tull,
Skating away.
and I will sob.
Skating away.
I will sob.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I will listen to
How about Mother Goose by John?
Yeah.
Remember the boys used to play Mother Goose on their acoustic sets?
Yeah.
30 years ago.
I will listen to
There must have been 100 schoolgirls sobbing into handkerchiefs as one.
I will listen to Crosby, Stills and Nash,
Oh.
or I will listen to Neil Young, and I will just sob.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll just sob.
How'd you like that version?
Yeah, I was screaming. I was screaming.
We did
David
it.
Crosby's part.
We
at the
did
end.
it at double pace.
It was.
And Dave was like, Dave looked at me and he goes,
Slow down.
"Are you in a rush?"
Yeah, slow down. No, but I mean seriously, I don't listen to a lot of music because it's too emotional for me. I can't.
Yeah,
like
same here.
I've played songs for my daughters. Like we'll be driving somewhere. Me and
Yeah.
Shayna will drive together.
Yeah.
And she'll play a song. She'll play me like
Right.
she's got a couple of bands she really likes, and then I'll play her a song. And then she'll play me a song, and I'll play her a song.
Right.
But invariably, I just fall apart. I sat and made my daughter sit with me and watch Freddie Mercury and Queen's performance at Live Aid, and I tried to explain to them what it was like watching it when it happened. I said, I need to show you the single most important moment in rock and roll history. I need to show you one man with 250,000 people in the palm of his hand and 50 million people worldwide singing along.
Robert Plant, anybody?
He's a superstar.
Yeah, man. So anyway, my name's Al. His name was Joe. This is Dave, my brother, our number one fan. We're gonna wrap this up now.
Are
this
we?
is a great show. Yep, we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, it's so early.
I know.
I could
it's
go
all right.
another 2 hours.
I know you can, man. I mean, what else? Do you have anything impending? Because
Pages. I have the
so
list.
go ahead.
No, we're not going to get into all 5
I'm
homosexual.
unprepared.
I've got all 5 homosexual presidents. I've got.
Oh, go. Wait a minute. That's a fucking hot take. Go ahead.
And
Do it,
don't make
please,
me pull
please,
it up
please,
now.
please, please. Is
Okay.
Jimmy Carter one of them?
No.
Homosexual president.
Yes, we've had at least 5 homosexual.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, that's really interesting.
presidents.
That's enough to fucking. I mean, I'm
Stop
gonna
the presses.
Yeah,
right,
stop
let
the
me look.
presses.
All right, let's just pick one. Let's just start with one.
Go ahead.
Hang on.
You know, I'm into my presidential fucking
No,
history.
I brought statistical data on the reversal of
Statistical data on how much cock they've sucked.
I brought statistical data on how much executive order was removed by the Trump administration. I brought the published medical,
Which, by the way, is why
reports.
these assholes are concerned about Brett Kavanaugh. Is he has
he
has well precedented fucking stances on presidential immunity. All right, I can't say I disagree with him. By the way,
I brought the statistical data on gender dysphoria, the published medical information.
Yeah.
I brought the statistical data on the problem with inbreeding in the Muslim community.
Wow, well, that's
I brought a great recipe for a cheese.
no. I want to
whiz.
hear that presidential thing you were
Okay,
saying.
gay presidents. Hang on. Let me
Yeah,
find
that's a new one.
Come on, man.
That's new to kind of write.
Oh, come on.
Kind of
Well, no,
right
you
at
guys were
yahoo.com.
talking about
Kind of
it.
right at yahoo.com. Please.
The origins,
name and town if
how
you
about,
want to apply.
How about the Jacksonian origins of the Third Reich's the Jacksonian origins of the Third Reich's protocols around the final solution? No, you don't want to get into that one?
I mean, I don't even know what
Where
you're
did I put the
talking
gay
about.
presidents? Oh, all of Hitler's ideas that he outlined in Mein Kampf. Hitler understood.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Hitler understood that there was nowhere for him to colonize. Hitler understood
Yeah,
that there
go
was
ahead.
nowhere where he could take over because there was nowhere to take over.
Yeah, Germany's landlocked.
So what Hitler and his people did is they studied Andrew Jackson's treatment of the Native American populations,
Right.
and they said, "Let's do that, but we'll do it to the Gypsies and the Jews."
Sure.
It has democratic origins, but we're not supposed to talk about that.
I mean, why not?
Well, no, because that would be telling the truth about the Democratic Party. We don't want to do any of that. Where's my gay presidents file? Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, you going to leave this to me to vamp?
I can't find it right now. This stuff never got pulled out. Oh, here we go. U.S. presidents who've had sex. Oh, 5 members. Okay, I found it.
I mean, just because, they had their dick sucked by a guy,
No,
that
no,
doesn't
no,
make
no,
them
no.
gay.
No, hang.
If they were sucking dick, they're gay.
You can paint all the walls and never be a painter.
Yeah, man.
Suck one dick.
Suck one fucking dick and
You
you're
are
a
gay
fag
for
for life.
life.
Fucking faggot for life. Which,
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. 5 presidents. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, I'll go into this one. 5 presidents who were members of the Ku Klux Klan. How about that?
I like that.
All right, here we go. Hang on. Now the internet's going to mess with me.
Work it.
Okay, 5 presidents who were members of the Klan. Coming in at number 5. obviously, President William McKinley. Klansman. Number 4, President Woodrow Wilson. Klansman.
Woodrow.
And number 3,
Really?
yes. Woodrow Wilson was the second president to be a Ku Klux Klan member. According to the book, Presidents Most Wanted, the top 10 book of extraordinary executives, colorful campaigns, and White House oddities, Wilson was known as a virulent racist and actually helped Klan membership skyrocket by providing screenings for Klansmen and the Birth of a Nation for members of his cabinet, Congress, and the Supreme Court. He was the one who promoted Birth of a Nation. Wilson's ideology helped pave the intellectual foundation of the campaigns of racist Dixiecrats Strom Thurmond and George Wallace. Wilson is also credited with allowing Washington, D.C. to become a Jim Crow territory.
All right.
He also never shied away from speaking publicly about the benefits of segregation. Number 3, Warren G. Harding, Klansman. Number 2, Harry S. Truman, Klansman. He was not a prominent member, but he did pay annual dues to the organization between 1920 and 1922. During that time that he was in office,
Fucking hated.
easy. There you go.
Why
Harry
did Dad call, by the way?
He wants me to come over and see. I told you.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got time.
So, yeah. There's that.
All right, so listen.
All right.
This is what we're going to do.
I have stuff left over if I have another invitation or if we can figure out the technology.
Dude, you have an open... Yeah, we got to figure out... all I want to do right now, and, fucking... It's not... Humor me, all right?
Yes.
Humor me for a moment.
Okay.
I want to talk about the set list.
Okay, it's 2:30.
We're almost done, all right? This was a very well thought out
Oh, it was brilliantly thought
set
out.
list,
It was
all right?
it was eclectic and it was old and
We
new.
opened with the Ballad of John and Yoko. All right?
Peoples of Earth, how are you?
How are you? Right? So that's... Then we did a weird song, not even a B-side. It was just a deep cut off of a Neil Young album called Ragged Glory, which Rockin' in the Free World was on. But this is called The Days It Used to Be. And I'm a Neil guy, and I never heard of it. And Dave wanted to play that song. That's the first song. Dave, me, and Evan learned it before Scott was in the band. By the way, Evan chose Scott.
Smart choice.
For the project.
Smart.
Because I told him we need another guitar player. Sav can't do it. That was my original thing. It was going to be me, Sav, Dave, and Evan. And Sav couldn't do it.
Sure.
So I said to Evan, I said, you know all the guys I play with. This is gonna happen. Make a choice.
Pick one.
And he said, what about Scott Jesse? I said, well, he ain't playing much, but I'll see what he has to say.
Excellent choice.
So he
The dude
chose
is glue.
Scott, right?
The dude is glue.
So that brought into the whole fold the whole Jack White Stripes thing, because Scott's an adherent to that whole philosophy. And as you remember, we did a medley of Seven Nation Army, where the kid leads it and fronts it, right? Into One More Cup of Coffee for the Road, which is a Bob Dylan song covered by the White Stripes, covered by us.
Nice.
I don't know if you remember that, but also like a fucking really... into Ready for Love,
That was crazy.
which was our weakest song of the night because Scott really doesn't like playing it, but I like playing it. We really do our own take on it. And then we went into Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. You probably don't know that song. A lot of the people there last night who are into... That's Frank Black and the Pixies, Boston guy, yeah.
Yeah. That was a very local
Then we
flavor
went
that you
to
did.
Talk of the Town by the Pretenders, which is a very, very highly arranged... We do not stray from the arrangement on that song, with very arranged vocals between me and Scott. Very cool. And then we went into Breathe by Pink Floyd,
That stunned me.
which is
stunned me.
our first improvisational number of the night.
You wouldn't have known it listening to it. It was flawless.
Totally improvisational.
Nope.
And all we do is look at each other and follow each other. It's different every time.
Would have never
All right?
known that.
You would have never known, right? Then we go into Guitar Man by Bread David Gates. 100% arranged until you get to the end, which is, again, improvisational, and we get out totally unrehearsed, improvisational, right? Then we go into a little number by the Allman Brothers called Ain't Wasted Time No More. And it's our take, and it's highly, highly arranged, note for note, beat for beat. It doesn't sound like what it sounds on the record because they have 3 drummers, all right? I'm one drummer, you know?
Right.
But Evan plays it note for note perfectly, and there are 2 guitar parts on that, and those fucking guys play it note for note, all right? Beautiful, beautiful. Then we were supposed to play House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, but Scott's voice can't handle it all the time. It's a real. It's really a really. That guy in the fucking Animals. The fuck's his name? Shit. Eric Burden.
Eric Burden.
That guy is a phenomenal vocalist. All right. Scott is also a great vocalist. He's like,
That's high and long.
I
though.
can't.
get it. No,
I
get
can't
it.
do it all the time. So he can do it. Like when we rehearse that set, song into song into song, he can do it. Yeah, we're good. Then we did Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie, which is a deep, deep, deep cut.
Yeah, it really was. You started going into that, and I was like, oh, man.
And then we went into Down by the River, which was by far, that was a vocal showcase of what me, Dave, and Scott can do together. Evan didn't sing on that. That was by far, that's why I wanted to end the set with it, because vocally, I mean, you know, obviously instrumentally, we got to fucking ratchet it down.
Sure.
You know, but vocally, that was crazy. So we come back. The one song I sing lead on is Orange Crush, which we talked about.
Beautiful.
We wanted to do an REM song. This is the easiest one to do.
Sure.
All right. Then we did our Sabbath medley.
That was
by far.
that was cathartic for me to watch you play. Cathartic to watch you play.
We eschewed Simple Man, which was supposed to be next. We were like, fuck it. We played Ohio, which we sound checked well, and then we played it way too quick, and that's fine. Then we did.
You've only been playing that song too fast for 30 years. Al.
Then we did Sweet Home Alabama,
and everybody lost their mind.
Into
Werewolves of
London.
Brilliant.
Did you know that was the same song? Nobody knows it.
No, but I
get it.
I got it. I jumped
Yeah.
up and I did
Yeah.
the verse with Dave because, well,
And then we went back because people were into it. We were supposed to play "Saw Her Standing There" by.
You did saw
We did
the
it.
Beatles.
We were supposed to play that before that but because people were dancing. I'm like, all right,
Dance on.
now we'll do it,
Right.
and it worked out great. Then we played "Starman" by David Bowie.
Yeah, that was like I
That's
drank
on
that
the
in.
commercials now.
I drank that in.
Fucking great, right?
Right.
Heart of Gold by Neil Young, which Luann, our cousin, she was staying anyway because her and Ray are going down to Nantucket today, and they're like, she was like, Jesus Christ, once you were starting to play Neil, I forgot she was a Neil Young fan. We are all Neil Young fans in our band, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Neil Young and Elton John, those were her 2 favorite artists growing up.
And then
I
we
remember
did
seeing the albums in a room.
What Is and What Should Never Be.
That was insane.
by Led Zeppelin.
Of all the songs to choose by Zeppelin, you chose that one and you destroyed it. Just
right?
Fuck.
Awesome.
Good.
Then we did Rockin' in the Free World in a slow, methodical fucking way.
And
that's
like
when
4 people jumped up.
Kat went in because she knows that Dave, the guitar player's wife, likes to sing that.
Yeah, she
She's
jumped
like,
in.
come up. So we had 4 or 5. You were there.
Your landlord
Carolyn,
jumped up
my
with me.
landlord, a bunch of people.
We
came
were
up.
on Scott's mic.
It was awesome.
And yeah.
So usually we would play Panic in Detroit, which we did not play. We were supposed to play Johnny Be Good. We didn't play it. And then we got out of there with We Gotta Get Out of This Place by the Animals.
It was, you guys were so good.
Written by Fats Domino, by the way.
Just beautiful. It was just
It was
enough.
a well-designed set.
It was a very well designed. I'm telling you, man. I don't try as we might. It was a perfect night.
Can you imagine that it went off without a hitch?
Well, we tried.
No, it went off.
I told my brother Paul. I said I'm
I mean,
flying
it
solo.
It took me a while to get my wife to bed, but
I told my brother, our brother Paul, I'm flying solo and I got a pocket full of bail money. Let's see how bad we can screw this up, and we just couldn't do it.
It all went well. By the way, my name is Al. His name is Dave. Joe fucking went to bed.
Thank you, Joe. Joe, I love you dearly. Thank you for being so kind to my brother and to my whole family.
Yeah.
You're a good man,
Oh,
Joe.
he's the best friend
You're
a
a good
guy
man.
could ever have, right? And you're the best brother a guy could ever
Well,
have.
I don't know about that.
All right, you're right up there. Anyway.
Thank you.
And kind of right at yahoo.com, kind of right at yahoo.com. I don't know what to say. This has been,
Send more hate
amazing
mail.
weekend.
Send more hate mail.
hate mail, help mail. We
Hate
love
mail.
hate mail. We're out. Dave, I love you.
We'll see you at the next one.
All right. Good night.